department to stop prioritizing other modes of public transport over theirs.
The last one, comrades, take credible steps to ensure swift implementation of National Land Transport Act, fair regulation in the best interest of operators and drivers.
We shift our focus to this now. Patriotic Alliance leader Gayton McKenzie says he has nothing to apologize for as a storm swirls over alleged offensive posts on his social media platforms. McKenzie says a proper analysis will show that he was commenting on the quotes and remarks of others and that he would never direct racial slurs at anyone. McKenzie, who's also the Sport, Arts and Culture Minister, says he's consulted with his lawyer to respond to the investigation opened by the SA Human Rights Commission. Lindsay Dentlinger has more.
In a regular briefing to party supporters last night, Gayton McKenzie again reiterated that selective social media posts have been used to create a false narrative that he is racist.
I will not apologize because I'm not a racist. I've not said racist things. I will explain everything that was said there.
McKenzie also lashed out at the Human Rights Commission, accusing it of issuing media statements on its planned probe before the correspondence reached him. He's also questioned why he's being probed for alleged xenophobic conduct and says he's ready to meet with the Commission.
The thing they say, we're going to break it down for you in the Equality Court, and you'll see at the end of the day, I will come out here victorious out of this whole thing.
McKenzie says he will not be forced to resign from his ministerial job. Neither will he be forced to issue an apology to hold on to the role. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News.
The city of Johannesburg has denied suggestions that its bid to improve service delivery is driven by the upcoming G20 summit, which will take place in the metro. The city has launched what it terms an accelerated service delivery program aimed at improving cleanliness and maintenance across the city before November. The program is targeting Sandton today, where teams have been repairing roads, streetlights and other municipal services. City of Johannesburg Corporate and Shared Services MMC's Tembiso Zungu says these initiatives will continue beyond the G20 summit.
Not just for G20, but for future use as well. You could tell that something's being done. The robots are working in the city now. They haven't worked in years. The mayor had said when he came in, he wants to start working, making sure that the city becomes what it used to be before. It's not easy now that he can maybe turn it around in a few months, but with the support that it gets from all of us, anything is possible.
And nearly 400 people have been killed in torrential monsoon rains in Pakistan. A changing climate has made residents of northern Pakistan more vulnerable to sudden heavy rains. The National Disaster Management Authority says 356 people were killed in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa alone, an area which borders Afghanistan. In total, the NDMA added that 706 Pakistanis have died since June 26th due to the monsoon, which is expected to last until mid-September. Gold is trading at $3,336.18 an ounce. The rand is at 17.62 to the dollar, 23.80 to the pound, 20.57 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $66.60 a barrel.
Bedford View heading towards Germiston. There's bumper-to-bumper traffic N3 southbound. This is between Linksfield Road and Van Buren. Edenville also heading into Bedford View. R24 westbound, traffic sluggish on Edenville. This is between Edenville Road and the Gilulis interchange, and in Devland we still have those roadworks slowing down traffic. Golden Highway between the N1 and Union Avenue.
It's a fine afternoon in Gauteng today. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 23 and 24 degrees. The top story in EWN, Taxi Association Santaco says over 50% of its drivers are without operating licenses in Gauteng.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
7:02
Live
on the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856,
92.7
and 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
7 minutes after 3 o'clock. Good afternoon. Thanks very much for joining us. You're on 702. It's lovely having you. Stick around with us all the way till 6 because we've got a jam-packed show this afternoon. We'll be touching on a number of issues, all the way from Joburg water on unplanned water outages in and around Sandton, to the issues of rand manipulation, the issue that is currently underway in the Constitutional Court. The Competition Commission is trying to appeal to say that the banks must be held accountable. Although the arguments will be, I think, restrained up around issues of jurisdiction, whether the Competition Commission has got jurisdiction on the matter that it has raised. As I said, issues of service delivery are always pertinent, and we always want to give you the very latest as far as that is concerned. The city of Johannesburg is rolling out service delivery operation in Sandton ahead of the G20 summit. Alpha Ramushwana is going to be in the studio to tell us more about that. The victim of shoddy work on a car, we were supposed to speak about it yesterday. We are definitely touching on the matter today. A Catholic priest, Father Jordan Ngondo, was a victim of a car mechanic who took the money, and the car is still in a state of disarray. Have you experienced that in the past? We'll speak later on to Thembi Safakure, Senior Research Fellow for Africa-Asia Dialogues, about the Zelensky and Trump talks. Did you see how cordial they were? Did you see the camaraderie spirit that prevailed amongst those leaders? Of course, Zelensky was flanked by some European leaders, including the Prime Minister of the UK, the President of France, and of course the Chancellor of Germany. It seemed as if there were some meeting of minds in that room. What did you make of that, and what are the implications on us as South Africa? Life Esidimeni, a serious blot that hovers above us like a dark cloud in a democratic South Africa. It appears, according to the little bird that whispered in our ears here at 702, that there may be serious advancements to prosecute or possibly prosecute the former MEC, Gayton McKenzie. We'll hear more about that, and we intend also speaking to Christine Nxumalo, the sister of the late Virginia Machapela, around that particular issue. Of course, everything else will still be there, as is tradition when John is around. And speaking about people who are around, Karabo Malapile presses the buttons. She's a technical producer on the show, making us sound very well and professional. Karabo Charlie will keep us updated on the roads and tell us what is going on. Mbali Dlamini will update the news in and around the world to tell us about the very latest. Of course, the two big chefs on the show, Refuwe together with Kabazela, they are here, and they're making sure that everything else stays on the rails. And of course, you, the most important ingredient. Without you, we can't do this. I really mean it every time I say it. Without you, there is no show at all. So we truly appreciate you. You could be anywhere else, but you choose to be with us, and we take you seriously. Hence, we put together a great show. 10 minutes after 3 o'clock.
702
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
Indeed, I've mentioned who's here, and now we need to know if you are there. You can simply send us a voice note on 072 702 1702 or call us directly on 011 883 0702. Alternatively, the socials are there. Twitter at Radio 702. Mine at I am free TSM. At I am free TSM. And as I said, for the remainder of the week, we will be touching on stories of David and Goliath. The proverbial David and Goliath, where an individual is faced with an institution and they're still fighting on. So if you have any of those issues that you'd like us to raise during the week, feel free to do so. It could be that you're fighting with a bank. It could be that the department of that is not taking you seriously, and you've been fighting with them for years and years on end, and you want us to put a spotlight on it. This week, we will be looking to do that, as we will be at 10 to 3 with the victim of shoddy work on a car. But someone who's here, Refuwe, I hope you're good. Everything is well.
Good afternoon, Tabo, to the rest of the 702 family. I am brilliant. I am productive. I'm well.
Okay. Well, the other stuff was unnecessary, but thank you for the additional.
But you did ask.
I did, but I didn't mean it. It was being courteous. You know, when people ask, how are you? They really don't mean it. You heard what our listener said the other day. That when people ask, how are you? They don't mean it. Okay, genuinely, how are you? You good?
I am wholesome.
You know, our listeners think that I'm bullying you. I'm getting some mail that I'm bullying you. I must stop bullying you.
Let me clarify.
And it's the other way around.
Let me clarify this. I think me and you have an interesting relationship.
Yeah.
Bullying, I never.
Never, ne?
Never.
Definitely not me. And Karabo Charlie is here as well.
How are you, sir?
I'm happy. I'm on top of the world. I'm free. I'm excited. You didn't want to hear all of that.
Since we're on that, I'm awesome. 100%. I am fabulous.
Oh, lovely. Now that everyone is fabulous, Rufio, I wanted to find out from you. Is it okay to pay a compliment to a stranger? And I don't mean to Karabo, your colleagues, people who know you. Generally, you're walking around Sandton Mall and Sandton City or wherever you do your shopping, and you see a guy, and this is very specific, someone of an opposite sex. You see a guy and he's well dressed, he looks handsome. I don't know what that is, but he looks handsome and everything else. And you see, when is it okay to compliment such a person? And what do you say when you compliment a stranger without going overboard, without seeming like you want to go on a date with them, but a genuine compliment?
Tabo, I think it's always the approach.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to say it in a way that you feel like, oh, she wants my number. So I graduated from catcalling. So I used to catcall quite a lot when I was driving. I'm like, hey, Wena, hey, good looking. Do they know they let you out? So I used to catcall a lot for fun. So I used to catcall, guys.
Oh, wow.
I would whistle. I'd do something. Yeah. I'm like, hey, here's 20 rand. This is for you. But now I have learned, now that I'm a little bit more mature in age, I do. So I said, I'm like, hi, I just wanted to say you look good. And then I walk away. Really? So it's approach. But I think the catcalling was the bomb, though. Because they'd just be so caught off guard. They look at me and they'd point me. I'm like, yes, give me your number. I want it now. I'm sending lobola. And it would actually make some of their day. Some of them would laugh. Others would be...
that's true.
So I think it's very unexpected.
But what's the response? Now that you have matured, as you said, you're not catcalling, but paying a nice, serious, sober compliment to someone. How do they respond if you see someone at the shop and you say, you're looking nice, lovely suit, it sits well on you?
90% of the time I get a thank you or like a smile, but it's always... good reception. It's never like, oh, who do you think you are?
Yeah.
It's approach. I mean, if I'm going to say to you, Tabo, you know that hat, you look really good in it.
I'll say, how much do you want? I'm being honest.
Stop
I'd
projecting.
say that.
You're projecting right now.
and you, Garab, with ladies, do you do that?
Yeah, well, I read the room all the time. When I'm with my partner, I, step really carefully.
Yeah.
When I'm alone or when I see the woman with her partner, I kind of tread carefully.
Yeah.
But I love giving compliments.
To strangers?
To strangers, definitely.
Strange ladies.
Strange ladies. Like, if your hair is nice, and I'll be like, where did you do your hair? It's very nice. I like my woman
where
also...
did you do your hair? That's a bit specific.
Yeah, well...
I'm asking.
It's nice. Where did you do it? Maybe...
Yeah, the question is rhetorical.
And then I like fashion as well. I always compliment people, especially the women's fashion in like winter, the jackets, the boots. I just love that fashion.
Yeah.
And if I like it, I always compliment. I'm like, yo, ma'am, that's a nice jacket. Where did you get the jacket so I can get it for my woman?
I see. Let me tell you, last week, I think it was a week ago, I was driving from Botswana and I had just driven into the country and I stopped off in Zeerust at some filling station to get something to drink. And there was a beautiful lady.
There's a lot of beautiful women in Zeerust. That's where my woman comes from.
Okay, thanks for sharing that with us, brother.
Thanks,
we
Karabo.
really wanted to know that. That's why we have this show, to know if there are beautiful women in Zeerust. That was so important. We needed to know. But now that we know that, anyway, there's this lady in front of me in the queue, and she was looking gorgeous. She was well dressed. She was just beautiful. And I paid her a compliment that, oh, you look really beautiful. Can I pay for your items? And she said, yeah, no one has done that before. And I paid for her items, and then I said, oh, have a lovely day. And you could see it was as though she wanted me to take it a step further, maybe ask for her numbers or something. And I was genuinely being serious when I say she looked beautiful, and that's all. And I just said, she looked beautiful. Oh, have a lovely day. And she stopped at the door, and I went into my car.
So
you look like you don't believe me, Baba.
No, I do believe you, but like, do you pay for stuff with everybody you compliment? Like,
No.
Was that particular woman
one?
because she was beautiful and from Zeras?
You are taking it to another. No, I just thought a compliment is not enough. Let me add a bit of action. Walk the talk.
Okay.
How about that?
Aye, fair enough.
I work for some station and I have heard that
is getting
somewhere.
deep.
Walk the talk. Was I wrong?
I think you were charming here, Shayla.
Oh,
It's just that now you acted all smooth and stuff. You wanted her to chase after you.
No.
I see you, Chief.
Bruh. So I shouldn't compliment ladies.
You can, but then why take it further and pay for their stuff?
I wanted to make a day.
Oh, well, fair enough. You made her day by the compliment.
Listen, this is done.
You know, like when
She's got her
people
groceries,
compliment
it's
me,
done.
when people
She's
compliment
happy.
me, that's it. I'm done. Made my day. You know.
Well,
Whether you took it further.
Was I wrong to do that?
Not wrong, but you took it a little
I
bit
mean,
too
you make
far.
it
I think you're
sound
being
like I'm a
kind
serial
and a
killer.
gentleman, Thabo. That's
Exactly.
You were nice and you made her day.
Oh, thank you so much.
Made her day.
Well, let's hear what you think. Perhaps I took it a little bit further. Let us know on 072 702 1702. Do you compliment strangers? What's the reaction? When you are complimented by strangers, how do you react to it? Do you think someone is hitting on you? Someone is trying to get your numbers? What do you do? 011-883-0702, 19 after 3. Speaking about the time, I'm sure that you want to know how your roads look, Karabo. The roads, how do they look?
Well, pretty busy at this stage. Let me start in the Ekurhuleni area in the Bedford View. Bumper to bumper traffic. That's on the N3 southbound between Linksfield Road and Van Buren. Also in Edenville heading towards Bedford View. Expect some delays. R24 westbound between Edenville Road and the Giluli's interchange. Also, if you're leaving Brakpan heading towards Benoni, expect some delays on Rangeview Road between Dube and Tom Jones. In the south of Joburg, we still have those roadworks in Devland heading towards Eldorado Park, causing heavy delays on the Golden Highway between the N1 and Union Avenue. Also in Protea Glen, this is N12 westbound approaching the R558. Traffic is a bit sluggish through there. Look out for those faulty traffic lights in Rand Park Ridge at Bears Nodi and the N1 North. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Clement Maniatella,
Weekday mornings,
9 to 12.
9 to 12.
What do you think you're going to do to try and resolve the systematic challenges at NSFAS, especially because government really is still underfunding NSFAS? And without that funding and capacitating it, then you're not really going to resolve.
Yeah. Look, firstly, I think we must play the role we should play, which is policy and oversight. I'm shivering when I think of what the AG is going to say about the NSFAS in terms of their finances, but also in terms of governance and their capacity at senior management level. And my conversation with a whole lot of people have indicated that part of the bigger problems at NSFAS has been as a result of political interference. Whether that's true or not, it's something that I'm taking to heart.
Minister of Higher Education, Buti Manamela.
Clement Maniatella.
9 to 12 on 702.
On 20 and 21 September, the DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star, brings you the flavor, the music, and the vibe with international stars, SA's top performers, delicious food from local artisans, and fashion that turns heads. It's the ultimate heritage weekend experience. Gather your friends on Saturday and make it a family picnic on Sunday. Join interactive cooking demos, explore vibrant art, and celebrate 30 years of DSTV bringing entertainment to Africa. One ticket gives you access to it all. Visit ticketmaster.co.za with more on deliciousfestival.com.
Every day I'm hustling. It's our reality as business owners. And it's good to know that there's someone out there who takes care of the business that makes the business. Gotta love My Way Business Insurance. Saving big on premiums with 24/7 emergency services, plus My Business Assist with marketing, legal, and labor advice services.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Personally, I will not compliment a guy unless if I tell my husband that, yo, he looks nice, ne? But I'll never compliment a guy and tell him that, oh, you look nice. No, but a lady, definitely. I do tell them, yo, you look beautiful, you are nicely dressed and stuff like that, but not someone of an opposite sex or gender. Thank you.
You know what's interesting? Have you been complimented by someone from an opposite sex? And I'm sure you took it very well and you loved it, but there's a problem when you compliment someone from their opposite sex. Guys, a compliment is a compliment. You know, I think it's best if you are not secretly complimenting someone, thinking in your heart, what a handsome guy, than when you vocalize it, because that's where it ends. When you keep it inside you, it means that there's some motive and you wish you could act on it. But when you vocalize it, it simply means that that's all that it was and you move on. What's wrong with complimenting someone? Let us know 23 minutes after 3.
Join us.
Let's walk the talk.
This is 702.
Well, Sandton has been a hub of activity, given that international delegates are expected, with many set to be accommodated in this area. And this is, of course, in preparations for the G20 summit in November. A lot of activities will be taking place in and around Johannesburg. And the mayor and his teams were touring several locations in Sandton to implement service delivery interventions. And I'm just wondering if this should not be a regular thing. Alpha Ramushwana, EWN reporter, joins us in the studio to give us more on the story. Alpha, hi, welcome. Welcome to the show.
Always a pleasure, Bratau.
And the mayor was doing the rounds, checking for potholes. What else?
Yeah, so the mayor couldn't make it to his own operation today, so he sent some members of his mayoral committee instead. And what they're looking at is the service delivery challenges that are faced in Sandton. As you would know, large parts of Johannesburg have been facing traffic light issues for the longest of time. And what they were doing as they were touring Sandton today is to ensure that they identify the problems that still need to be fixed and deploy their teams to fix these problems as soon as possible. They were looking at, there's a road not too far from 702's building on Pretoria Road, which is now closed off to traffic. And it's been closed off to traffic for quite some time. The city is now, it's bulldozers are there working on the road. They say they plan on reopening that road in October. It was closed to traffic due to an underground pipe burst. So there couldn't be any activity on that road at all. And now, before the G20 summit, the city is saying they are working on every single issue that is faced in Sandton, service delivery shortfalls, service delivery challenges. And they're saying that every single thing that they've identified should be fixed before the G20 summit in November. But of course, another argument that they're making is that they are not only doing these service delivery initiatives for the G20 summit, and even beyond the summit, they are going to be making sure that potholes are repaired, roads are fixed, traffic lights are fixed as well. So I think that's one thing.
We believe them, Alpha. We believe them. Really, there are a couple of potholes that have been there for quite some time. As you go into Brightwater Commons, there's a huge manhole there that has been there, I think, for almost 2 years, and they didn't think of that.
Certainly, that's the case all across the city of Johannesburg. There are potholes that have been there for months, in some cases for years. But I was I was reading the mayor's State of the City address, and they allocated about 400 million rand to fixing potholes, road resurfacing. So this 400 million rand over the next year is expected to address every single pothole in the city of Johannesburg, resurface roads that need to be resurfaced. And they're using that money now to address some of the issues here in Sandton. I mean, we also went to Alexandra.
Yes.
And if you know Vincent Chabalala Road, which used to be London Road in Alexandra, it connects this side of Johannesburg to the industrial areas on the East Rand. And on that road, potholes all over the place. People have built informal settlements on the road, so there's an encroachment issue there in Alexandra. And the City of Johannesburg's teams were also there today saying that the Alexandra issue is so big that it can't just be fixed over a short period of time. So there needs to be a concerted effort from provincial, from municipal as well to address the housing, roads, potholes in Alexandra.
All I can say, Alpha, before I say goodbye to you, is that I wish we hosted the G20 summit every single year. Then maybe we could get some attention from our authorities. Really appreciate your time. Alpha Ramoshwana, EWN reporter.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
Sandton has been experiencing some issues of water, I think, since yesterday. And there was a notice that went out, and it was dated 19th August 2025. And it's as recent as 3:10. And it was an update on planned interruption, Illovo Reservoir and Illovo Tower. It reads in part that our team is still working on breaking the concrete under the pipe, which will allow repairs to start at corner Winnie Mandela Drive and Agile Avenue. Once repairs have been completed, the process of bleeding the line to remove airlocks will commence. But to give you an update, as our listener, we have Nkosinathi Xaba, who's Regional Manager, Sandton Region, Joburg Water. Nkosinathi, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702. What seems to be the problem and when did it start?
Good afternoon, Sabo, and listeners at home. The problem that we are facing in Hardingham at corner Winnie Mandela and Agate is that there is a burst pipe on the 375 line, which was under the concrete, and next to it there is a concrete stormwater channel, which is also a concrete. So we were not getting the space there. So what we have done, we have pumped the water out. We have also break the concrete. Last night we did manage to break the concrete on top, and then we're able to see where there is to locate that burst pipe, to find that the burst pipe is at the bottom of the pipe. And the challenge that we're facing was to break that concrete underneath, of which our teams, they are busy breaking that concrete now, and it looks like now we are able to get the space where we'll be able to put the fitting. So the team is still busy on site, but we are aiming that later today we'll be able to address that leak.
And which particular areas are affected specifically? I'm sure there could be quite a lot.
Yes, it's quite a lot. The areas that are being supplied by Illovo Reservoir and also Illovo Tower. Those are the areas that are affected.
When is this problem expected to be dealt with, and as far as estimated time of completion?
Yes, in terms of the repairs, since we have break the concrete and managed to get the space, we are aiming that later today at night we'll be able to complete that repairs. And then when it comes to the reinstatement, then GRA, then they will be able to send their team tomorrow, because what happened is that the water make a cavity there in the road there. So that's why we have closed some of the lanes of the road, because of avoiding the risk.
And for those who are listening right now, I think they should budget for what? For the weekend, and things will be okay. In the meantime, have you put in place some measures to make sure that there's water availability through tankers or other means?
Yes, we are working with the councillors. The councillors, they've given us the list of the areas where we have put some JoJo tanks, and we also have the roaming water trucks that are supplying the affected areas.
Yeah, lastly, before I say goodbye, Nkosnati, there's a road leading to Brightwater Commons. I don't know if it's called Republic. And even Cat Blanche did something about it this past Sunday. It's been the manhole has been open for quite some time, and I'm told that it falls under your jurisdiction. If it doesn't, please forgive me. Do you know anything about it? Because it's, I think, almost 2 years, if not more.
No, I don't have information on that one. It falls under Ranpet.
Okay. Really appreciate it. Nkosnati Kaba, Regional Manager, Sandton Region, Joburg Water. 29 minutes to 4 o'clock. Mbali Dlamini is right here to give us the very latest on Eyewitness News headlines. Good afternoon, Mbali.
Thanks, Tabo. Good afternoon. The city of Johannesburg has acknowledged that it needs to be more proactive in addressing the housing crisis in Alexandra Township. The Metro has been conducting a site visit in the township today to assess conditions along the busy Vincent Shabalala Road. An informal settlement has emerged along parts of that road, raising concerns of encroachment on municipal property. Alfara Mushwana reports.
Sewage water is visibly flowing down the street on Vincent Shabalala Road in Alexandra, with burst pipes adding to the problem. A sight that is hard to ignore is how children from Iputeng Primary School have to navigate these conditions on their walk home. However, some of them live in an informal settlement right across the street, which was directly built on the road. Johannesburg Development Planning MMC Eunice Mgina warns that this poses a safety risk, as some of the structures may be standing on top of electricity cables beneath the road.
We need human settlement to play part in this process of demolition. Alex is one of the priority areas that we have identified in the department to come and demolish some of the structures that are erected illegally.
She says the city is in the process of finding solutions to the many issues in the township. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News in Alexandra.
The Hawks have made a breakthrough in dismantling a transnational rhino horn trafficking network worth millions of rands. A 7-year investigation by the Hawks' Wildlife Tracking Unit uncovered a fraudulent scheme involving 964 rhino horns destined for illegal markets in Southeast Asia. Oren Singh has more.
A 7-year investigation by the Hawks Wildlife Tracking Unit resulted in the arrest of 6 people, 5 men and 1 woman, who appeared before the Pretoria Magistrates Court this morning. They face charges of fraud, theft and contravention of the National Environmental Management Biodiversity Act. In a statement, Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment, Deon George, says the arrest is a decisive victory in South Africa's fight against international wildlife crime. George welcomed the progress of the Hawks in dismantling the international rhino horn syndicate, claiming it is clear that the Hawks are making progress on cracking down on international syndicates responsible for poaching wildlife in the country. Erin Singh, Eyewitness News.
To this now, Western Cape Police have arrested a suspect in possession of drugs worth 800,000 rand. Members of the Anti-Economic Crime Task Team pulled over a suspicious vehicle yesterday, and upon searching the car, they found a consignment of drugs. Police also found cocaine and other drugs at the suspect's residence. Police spokesperson Frederick van Wyk.
The members also seized cash believed to be the proceeds of crime. The drugs are estimated at a street value of 800,000 rand. The suspect was detained at Milnerton Police and will make his court appearance in the Cape Town Magistrates Court.
And in Brazil, government has asked U.S. tech giant Meta to remove chatbots that mimic children and can make sexually aggressive remarks from its platforms. Users of Meta's platforms, which include Instagram, Facebook and WhatsApp, can create the customized such bots using the company's artificial intelligence. The news comes after a South American influencer posted content on Instagram featuring partially naked minors taking part in suggestive dances. In a letter sent to Meta last week, the government denounced the proliferation of such bots. It's a fine afternoon in Gauteng today. Temperatures have peaked at highs of between 23 and 24 degrees.
Centurion bumper-to-bumper traffic on the N14 northbound approaching Weird Road, while in Edenville expect heavy delays. That's approaching Bedford View R24 westbound between Edenville Road and the Giluli's interchange. Devland roadworks slowing down traffic on the Golden Highway between Chris Hani Road and Union Avenue.
The top story in EWN, the city of Johannesburg has acknowledged that it needs to be more proactive in addressing the housing crisis in Alexandra Township.
Africa Milani.
Weekday mornings.
4 to 6.
How would you advise President Ramaphosa then? How does he navigate this rather delicate sort of terrain that he's finding himself in, particularly given the fact that there will most likely be a bilateral between Zelensky and Putin and ultimately a trilateral that will involve Donald Trump as well?
For President Ramaphosa, presenting a cautious but present and showcasing what South Africa can do to assist, that I think for me is an important role that can be played.
Gustavo Di Callio.
Africa Milani.
4 to 6 on 702.
62 million rand in total estimated Powerball and Powerball Plus jackpots could see you rolling in the millions this Tuesday. Don't miss out. Play Powerball for an estimated 21 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 41 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store or on nationallottery.co.za. The mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda Pusha Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for optometrists, surgeons, and other medical specialists. Here's Chrissy.
Business Outsurance is the best insurer for my business. They have great premiums, wonderful service. I know without a doubt that Outsurance has my back, and we always get something out with Outsurance.
Switch to Business Outsurance, and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
It's that time of the year. Sneezing, itchy, watery eyes, blocked noses and coughs. It's time to live, work, play and sleep allergy-free. For trusted relief for you and your family this allergy season, ask your pharmacist for the Adcock Ingram OTC Allergy Survival Pack. With products like Allergex Non-Drowsy, Cetisid, Levogex and more, we have you covered. Remember, Adcock Ingram OTC. And visit beprepared365.co.za.
They opened their doors before sunrise, stayed up late, showed up. Now they've made it to the finals of Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko because of you. But they're not done yet. Your vote that could make them Gauteng's greatest. Go to primemediaplus.com now to cast it. Because support isn't just spoken, it's action. And your vote is a standing ovation for the Corner Cafe with the big dreams, the local legend who never gave up, the startup that's changing the game. Gauteng's greatest award with 702, powered by Yoko. Let Yoko Counter fuel your business to greatness. Go to yoko.com to explore the new point of sale solution, saving hundreds of businesses time and money.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Hi, Tabo and team. This is Sam. Just on the issue of complimenting women, I think it's such a fine line because you can compliment a woman and say she's beautiful or whatever, or she's got a lovely dress, and you may be genuine and the woman may respond with a thank you, as do sometimes I do. But then you get the sleaze. You get men who shout out their car window with, hey, beautiful, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it's awkward and one feels vulnerable. So it's definitely a fine line.
Tabo, I compliment people.
Thank you.
So much because when I'm having a bad day, I make sure that I dress my best, and those compliments go a long way.
Yeah.
I compliment ladies, I compliment gentlemen, anybody. I just feel like it makes their day. And for me, it also makes my day when I see someone looking great. Thanks, Mutuwa Botlokwa and Centurion.
Hi, Tabu. Compliments is quite a tricky thing because there's this gentleman that I work with, and the other day I walked past him and he had a nice smelling cologne on, and I said to him, "Oh, that cologne smells lovely." And he just said, "Thank you." I didn't ask him what it was or anything, and I just walked past. My goodness, the very next day, this man literally bathed in the cologne. And he's now doing that every day. You can smell him a mile away. No, man, it is too much. And I said to myself, you know what? I should have kept quiet. This is Bonnie from Roodepoort.
Bonnie, that's just something else. You see what you've done now. You see where your compliments have gone to now. Now the guy wants to get lovely words from you every single day. But I love it. There's absolutely nothing wrong with complimenting someone and getting them something. It's just like almost like giving someone a lift on the side of the road. So I don't see anything wrong, but I agree. There's a fine line. There is a fine line and you need to be careful. 21 minutes to 4 o'clock.
EWN Sport.
With Tolagene Mganga, EWN Sport is brought to you by the all-new Hilux Legend 55. For 55 years, the Hilux has been conquering SA's toughest terrains. And now, this new legend in the family. Tolagene, what's the latest?
Well, Thabo, Erasmus has made 10 changes to the starting 15 for their second rugby championship match against Australia on Saturday, with Jesse Kriel leading the side for the second time in a test. Only 5 players in the starting 15 are retained their places from last weekend's 38-22 defeat. That's Cheslin Colby, Damien Elenda and Velile Rubu all returned to the side. On the bench, Erasmus has named 6 forwards and 2 backs.
I think the 4 guys that's unfortunately with the result and us losing momentum is probably Krappies and Ethan and Vincent. There was 4 guys that would have played this weekend and hopefully want to get back onto the horse and win again. And I guess then obviously a guy like Kirtley might have backed up and Kanan might have played centre if we won.
For New Zealand, lock Patrick Toy-Pilatu is expected to miss the rest of the tournament, having suffered a facial fracture against Argentina, while Anton Leonard-Brown is out of the second Pumas match, having failed concussion protocols. Switching over to cricket, where Aiden Markram hit 82 before Keshav Maharaj finished with career best figures of 5 for 33, as South Africa won the first ODI against Australia by 98 runs. Sent in to bat first, the Proteas posted 296 for 8, and in reply, Maharaj picked up 4 wickets in his first 15 balls, as the Baggy Greens were dismissed for 198 in the 41st over.
You know, we train as individuals and as a team, and to see it come together, it's super special. I was very fortunate to get the rewards. I put the balls in the right area, but it's not often that happens, but very grateful, and I'll take that performance. It's a place where I came to debut, so it's a wonderful, sort of fitting, nostalgic feeling coming back here and getting my first fifer.
And in the Betway Premiership, there are 5 games scheduled tonight, including Kaizer Chiefs up against Richards Bay. Ahead of it, the Glamour Boys have confirmed the signing of striker Etiosa Igodora, who will wear the jersey number 50. On the pitch, Thabo Cele and his teammates will be looking to make it 3 wins in a row.
We're growing together as a team. I think, as you can see, it's a growing team, within the club, and we're trying to get to the next level, And back in Holland, also, the pre-season, we're trying to create that bond within the team, and we know that it's going to help us, and it's helping us already. We just want to get together and move forward together as a team and get, good results.
Tolagene Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
It's not just a bucky. It's the new Hilux Legend 55. So it's not just another launch, it's a legacy continued. It's not just an updated exterior, but sleek design with styling bar and roller shutter. It's not just Legend 55 badge, it's a legendary badge of honor. And you're not just a driver, but part of our community, our legacy, our legends. It's not a buggy, it's the new Hilux Legend 55.
EWN Traffic.
With Karabo Charlie, how do the roads look, bro?
Well, at this stage, Thabo, if you are in the Centurion area, bumper-to-bumper traffic, N14 northbound, that's heading towards the Pretoria CBD, approaching Weirdo Road. If you are leaving Sandton this afternoon, expect more than a 20-minute delay. This is on Greyston Drive between Rivonia Road and Catherine. It's not yet clear what's causing this delay at this time of the afternoon. If you're in and around, please let us know. You can WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702. We are also on X at EWN Traffic. There's also slow-moving traffic in the Ekurhuleni area, Edenville heading towards Bedfordview. R24 westbound between Edenville Road and the Giluli's interchange. In the south, there's bumper-to-bumper traffic. This is due to roadworks in the Devland area on the Golden Highway between Chris Hani Road and Union Avenue. Protea Glen, traffic sluggish, N12 westbound from the R554 Abu Bakr Drive all the way to the R558. And look out for those faulty traffic lights in Alex at Marlborough Drive and Far East Bank. I'll have your next Eyewitness News traffic update just after 4.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
702 Podcast.
On primemediaplus.com.
14 minutes to 4 o'clock. Thabo in for John, together with you till 6. You're on 702, and we were speaking earlier on about complimenting a stranger, and some of your voice notes, you're saying that we should be very careful because there's a thin line between a compliment and harassment, I'd like to believe. So let us know what you think. Tolagele, you good?
I am, Thabo, and you?
I'm chilled. I mean, this seems to be a very controversial subject. Complimenting someone of the opposite sex about how they dressed, how they smell. Do you do that? And what do you do when you receive those compliments from guys? Strange guys.
Well, the keyword there is strange. I don't know. For me, I tend to love compliments from other women. Because there's just like, they're so girly and they're just like, yes, because I do this all for you. So I really love, because it always starts with like, oh, you smell nice. Where did you get this dress? And now all of a sudden, like, we're sharing like where we buy stuff.
Yeah.
From men, sometimes it's a bit like weird because you like say thank you and they'll use it as like a gateway into a different conversation. Like, there you go, like ruining the mood. But I love getting it often from women. It's so cute, and like little children as well.
Do you give it to guys? Compliments, that is?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
It has to be an exceptional circumstance.
Oh, wow.
Like if someone's team wins, I'm like, wow,
yeah,
you're in a good mood this week.
Yeah.
That will be like.
But a strange guy in a mall, maybe,
mall.
Yeah, they smell good and they look good, and he's your type of guy, and you're thinking, wow, what a nice guy.
I'll give it to people that I know. I think that's the best way
so to strangers, nothing at all.
Akibazebi.
Yeah, you could just say nice suit, sir.
But like I said, gateway into another conversation. That's why I tend to reserve it for the people that I do know, because I also feel comfortable knowing that it won't lead to weird interactions.
But then how do you meet people if you don't do that when Athalagel?
But
that's why she's
to
single.
Me.
Well, he said it.
Am I?
Listen.
Am I?
The last time I checked.
How many weeks ago was that?
I'm all quiet. Keep it going. In the can I give you the HR's email address?
Exactly.
I've got the email address here. I'm happy to give you that. Yeah, and earlier on, very quickly, before I say goodbye, I know you have to run. I was just mentioning that I had bought some lady, she was buying Coke and a chocolate, and I said, oh, very nice, you look very good. Let me get you a chocolate and Coke. Was that wrong? Because I'm getting a bit of slack on our WhatsApp line here.
There is a lady, I think it's the one with the cologne, where she said, it's such a thin line.
Yeah.
Because also now, some people can read it as, yes, you're giving me a compliment, but now you're just doing too much by buying like the chocolate and the Coke.
But she's got agency to say, no, thank you, sir. Thanks for the compliment.
But also sometimes I will say, as a woman, it's not so easy, especially to a strange man that you're meeting for the first time, to say no, because you don't know how they
how will they react. But in front of people, you are in a queue.
Even worse.
10 people.
Even worse, there's the pressure to make sure that I don't
anger
the person and I don't embarrass them, because I don't know once we step out of that circle, if they meet me in the parking lot, what is
the world
happen?
that's toxic now?
Absolutely.
We are living in such a toxic society. We can express kindness to each other. What have we become, Sister Tolagele?
Unfortunately, a lot of people are paying for other people's mistakes. That's the thing. So that's why for you, you could be like, I'm doing it with good intentions.
I see what you mean.
Because I've been burned so many times, I'm going to react the way that I do.
Well, let's hear what you have to say on 072 702 1702. 10 minutes to 4.
Aubrey Masango.
Weekday evenings,
8 to midnight.
Sad to see the political stuff that followed the Driekus loss. Should sporting people take up political issues openly and overtly? Some will say yes, they have a platform and therefore they must make known whatever issues that they do have to make known. And some will say no, they must just play the game, keep it at that, because they represent the aspirations of a country which is made up of different political views. After all is said and done, he's South African and we should give him the support as South Africans.
Aubrey Masango.
8 to midnight on 702.
702.
Don't miss the magical sounds of the Johannesburg Philharmonic Orchestra or Philharmonic Orchestra Symphony Season concert under the baton of May N. Chen and featuring the acclaimed pianist Keigo Mukawa. The program includes Saint-Saëns Piano Concerto No. 5, Schumann Symphony No. 4, and more. Thursday, 21 August at 7:30 p.m. at the Linda Auditorium. Book your tickets at Quicket to avoid disappointment.
Feel the exhilarating power and performance. Feel the anticipation of a new adventure around every corner. Feel the breathtaking wonder of Mzansi's epic scenery. Feel the luxe vibes and the good times. Feel it all and more with the Ultimate Shell V-Power VIP experience. Spend 750 rands 3 times this month and tap your V Plus rewards card for a chance to win one of 5 epic road trip and trek experiences for 2. T's and C's apply.
To walk the talk is to turn words into meaningful actions. And it's what we at 702 are committed to doing every day. We are also committed to following the rules set out by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission's Code of Conduct to give you balanced programming, fair comments, and accurate news. But if we stumble along the way and you feel we are not living up to the code, let us know on comments@702.co.za. And if after that you're still not happy, you can direct your complaint in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission. Email bccsa@nabsa.co.za. For more, visit bccsa.co.za.
What if a few small shifts could dramatically boost retirement incomes? This Thursday on 702 Breakfast, Old Mutual Corporate will bring you more learnings shared at the recent Old Mutual Thought Leaders Forum. This time, we'll look at some of the ways employers can help improve retirement savings. We are talking real-world impact, employer case studies, and smart shifts that are reshaping the future of retirement. Join the conversation Thursday, 21 August, brought to you by Old Mutual Corporate on 702.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
As we said, you are on 702, 7 minutes to 4 o'clock. Tabo in for John. Yesterday, we raised an issue of a mechanic who allegedly swindled a priest who had taken the car to him for fixing. 2-3 years later, the vehicle returned still, actually, if it was in a worse condition. And the matter was also ventilated on a TV show. Father Jordan Ngondo is joining us right now. In 2021, he had taken his vehicle to a gentleman called Mike Slabbert in Vereeniging, and he is the mechanic, and he had paid certain amounts of money towards the fixing of the car, but alas, 2025 the car returns. After years, it returns and it is still in a bad condition, and allegedly it was involved in an accident. When he tries to get recourse, nothing happens. He's being threatened all the time. Father Jordan Ngondo joins us right now to tell us more about this. Good afternoon, Father Ngondo. Welcome to 702.
I appreciate the platform to share with your listeners.
Did I capture the story well? We don't have a lot of time. We only have about 5 minutes. So briefly,
Okay.
When did you take the car in and what was the result?
Yeah, I took it. Okay, let me put it this way. I was involved in a car accident and took the car to the panel beater in Vereeniging. That was in 2021. So, yeah. And then after some years, I got the car back with the help of ex-repo.
And prior to that, did you pay for the repairs?
Yes, I paid him.
Yeah, and how much did you pay him all in all?
Yeah, I paid him 70,000.
70,000 rands. And when you went to inquire about your vehicle, I'm sure you didn't leave the car in 2021 and went to look for it in 2025. What was the excuse? What were the reasons that he expressed for the car not being ready for collection?
Yeah, he was complaining. Okay, he wanted to charge me for storage. something that we did not agree on. There was no paperwork in our deal with him. But he runs his business like a spaza shop, you know. So that is actually what happened.
Was the car fixed when you went to fetch it?
No, it was not fixed. It was vandalized. You know, I was so shocked because the dent was at the back, and then I was shocked to find that the bonnet was gone, and then the front part, the bumper, were not there. You know, to prove that shows that it confirms the rumor that the car was involved in a car accident while the car was still in his place.
And he kept the car for about 4 years.
Yes.
And it was involved in an accident, as you said.
It was, and I was surprised. I was shocked to discover that he removed the latest disc, and then in that accident, because it was a collision, there were police from Vereeniging. And I don't know what's going to happen now. Now that the car was involved in the accident, and there is a big hole on the windscreen. I don't know whether it's somebody's head that that hit there. I really don't know because he did not even tell me that the car. Remember, this guy used to drive my car around 11 to 12 midnight. And then the tracker warned me on many occasions. And then I also told him that I'm worried about these ups and downs without my permission.
Yes.
And then at one time he said, he said the car was at his friend in Roshni.
Yeah.
You know.
He seemed like a very vocally aggressive person on the TV show that aired on Sunday on Moja Love, where you got some bit of recourse when you took the cameras there. And you also said that he was threatening you when you went to inquire. Did you report him at all to the police when he was displaying this behavior?
You know, Tibos, when you talk about the police, I feel so bad because I come from the security cluster as a former chaplain in DCS. You know, I have reported this guy to. On the night we were there with Moja Love, I phoned the station commander in Vereeniging. She didn't respond, and then. This man was busy calling his friends, the police and the security guard. They came with rifles and dogs. I also reported to the district office, provincial office, national office, and the minister. Nobody comes back, or nobody came back to me.
And he threatened you that he is working with the police.
He boasts about his connections with the police. You know, that he repairs the police cars for free. The police come to him for cold drink, and then they are on his payroll, you know. And he is one of the well-known. I don't know whether I should say. I don't want to label him, but he enjoys police protection in the Vala. You remember, Tibos, I was born and brought up in this town.
Yes.
I know people there, and people are talking, and I'm glad that the people showed this on Moja Love, and then the people are going to start pestering and asking Moja Love to come to their rescue, because this guy has got so many cases at the police station there.
Yeah. We have to leave it at that, Father Nkondo, but you still need to fix your car, unfortunately, because after 4 years, it was still not fixed. Really appreciate your time. I quickly need to squeeze this in that we did, on numerous occasions, try to get hold of Mike Slabert. He just kept on giving us an emoji. There are SMSs there are text messages to the effect as trying to get his side of the story. He couldn't be bothered. It's exactly 4 o'clock.
This is EWN.
E-hailing drivers blame government for an escalation in violence and more sympathetic approach in the TRC inquiry. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. Angry e-hailing drivers protesting in Johannesburg today have blamed the Gauteng Transport Department for an attack that claimed the life of a driver at Maponya Mall in Soweto. Last week, Mthokozi Simvelase was shot and killed before his and another e-hailing vehicle was set alight. The demonstrators have accused the department of failing to address their concerns, including their safety and that of commuters. They allege their cries have fallen on deaf ears, leading to increased violent attacks allegedly at the hands of competing taxi operators. Ntokozo Khumalo reports.
E-hailing operators are currently at the Department of Transport's office to hand over a long memorandum of demands. They have accused the MEC of failing to deploy a taxi violence task team in the province for their safety. In the latest incident, an e-hailing driver was shot and killed outside Maponya Mall last week. E-Hailing Partners Council chairperson Henry Matebula says the victim, Mthokozi Simvelase's death, could have been avoided.
They are sitting here with a taxi violence task team that has been put to deal with these issues. Maponya Mall will not have happened if ever the department and the MEC would have done the right thing.
Matebula added that the sector is in desperate need of regulations to mitigate bullying by other public transport operators. Ntokozo Khumalo, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
Let's stay with the story. Taxi Association Santako has committed to providing burial assistance to the family of Mthokozi Simvelase. The taxi body says it is engaging Mvelase's family to help them transport his body home to KwaZulu-Natal. Santako was briefing the media in Johannesburg today, where it denied responsibility for the attack that took place last week in Soweto, labeling it criminal. Association President Matlobane Tsebe has called on police to speed up investigations into the matter.
And we also spoke to some Soweto ministries because we need divine intervention. After the funeral and everything, we are sending a team to go to hospital to check on those that are still in hospital. And after that, we will do a prayer day or a prayer at Maponya Mall.
We'll shift our focus to this now. The inquiry into Truth and Reconciliation Commission cases says it will adopt a more sympathetic, engaging and empowering approach in its work. The commissioners who will be leading the hearings held their first press briefing at the Hector Peterson Museum in Soweto this afternoon. President Cyril Ramaphosa tasked the commission with investigating allegations of political interference or efforts to stop the prosecution of TRC cases. Khomotso Modise has more.
The Judicial Commission of Inquiry into the TRC was promulgated in May this year and announced that its work started this month. Today, in a press briefing at the historic Hector Peterson Museum, the Commission's chair, retired Constitutional Court Justice Sisi Khampepe, invited all interested South African parties to a pre-hearing meeting.
The inquiry will bring together all interested persons and institutions to a pre-hearing meeting to agree on a program for the conduct of the inquiry's work and conclude on a timeline for all the procedural steps.
She says the meeting is expected to happen within the next 3 weeks and a way forward on the Commission of Inquiry will then be established. Khomotso Modise, Eyewitness News in Soweto.
In the courts now, the Palm Ridge Magistrates Court has heard how the men accused of killing former IFP Member of Parliament Ketamabala Sithole argued over who should take the shot. Sithole was killed in a hail of bullets on the 31st of May while overseeing a branch meeting at the Buyafuti hostel in Katlehong. 2 other IFP members were also shot in the head and chest, but they survived the incident. 3 men accused of the shooting have been applying for bail in the court today. Thabiso Koba has more.
The state is opposing the release on bail for the 3 accused men, with the investigating officer having taken the stand to make the case. The officer says the state has a witness who was with the accused men on the day of the shooting. He says accused number 1, Kitoguhle Sithole, accused 2, Ntando Ximba, argued over who should take the shots. The officer testified it was eventually another person by the name of Zamani Klimba who fired 11 bullets that killed IFP MP Ketamabala Sithole. Police are still trying to find Zamani, who they believe is the mastermind behind the assassination. Thabiso Koba, Eyewitness News, Palm Ridge.
And in the U.S., forecasters have warned of possible flooding on the East Coast caused by Hurricane Erin. The warning comes as the Category 3 storm is expected to grow in size as it moves northwards in the western Atlantic Ocean. The center of the storm is predicted to pass to the east of the Bahamas today. From tomorrow, it is forecast to move north between Bermuda and the U.S. East Coast. Authorities have ordered a mandatory evacuation of some islands, warning that roads could be flooded, making it impossible to move around. Gold is trading at $3,336.18 an ounce. The rand is at 17.62 to the dollar, 23.80 to the pound, 20.57 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $66.60 a barrel.
Bryanston heading towards four-way slow-moving traffic N1 southbound between Rivonia Road and Winnie Mandela Drive, while in Alex heading towards Germiston, traffic heavily backed up on the N3 southbound from Marlborough Drive all the way to Van Buren, and in Edenville heading into Bedfordview. Expect some delays. R24 westbound between Edenville Road and the Gillies interchange.
In your sport, the Proteas claim convincing win in their ODI series opener against Australia. Kaizer Chiefs sign striker Etiosa Igadora, and the All Blacks lose Patrick Tuipilatu for the rest of the Rugby Championship.
A fine Wednesday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Johannesburg dropping to overnight lows of 9 degrees, peaking at 26. Pretoria 9 and 27, and Vereniging 9 and 25 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour: angry e-hailing drivers who have been protesting in Johannesburg today have blamed the Gauteng Transport Department for an attack that claimed a driver's life at Maponya Mall in Soweto last week.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7.
And 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 4 o'clock, you're on 702. Thanks very much for joining us. It's not John, it's Tabo. Up until 6. Really appreciate your company. Don't go anywhere. And if you've just tuned in, where have you been? You've missed out on so much, but in good time for much, much more. Some of the things that we discussed in the previous hour. We spoke to Joburg Water regarding unplanned water outages in and around Sandton. Ilovo is one of those areas that has been affected by water outages, and they couldn't give us an exact estimated time of sorting out all these problems. We had a chat with Nkosinathi Xaba of Sandton Region, Joburg Water. We also had a talk to Alpha Ramushwana, EWN reporter, about the city of Joburg having rolled out service delivery operations earlier on ahead of the G20 summit to be held in November. And given that this week we are focusing on the proverbial David and Goliath story, the underdog versus the institution, we spoke to a Catholic priest who was a victim of a car mechanic. And up to now, he took his car there in 2021 to be fixed for a bump at the back. It came back and the front was also messed up after paying 70,000 rands and 4 years a car in the mechanic's possession. So if you have similar stories, this week we'll be doing those stories. Feel free to get in touch. Send us a voice note on 072 702 1702. In a short while, we'll speak about the Zelensky and Trump talks that got underway with various other EU leaders and various presidents from the European continent. And much later on, we'll talk about the manipulation of the rand. The Esidimeni tragedy comes under spotlight as well. We'll touch on that a little bit later on. But for now, I look forward to your voice notes to come through on 072 702 1702, especially about our talker. We asked, why is it so difficult to give out a compliment to a stranger from the opposite sex? And how do you receive that compliment? Is it wrong to give out a compliment? Or is it just plain harassment? Let us know. 072 702 1702.
702
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
Tabo, that message from Bonnie is hilarious, and it makes me think of what I was taught about colognes or any scented things that you wear, is that a scent is meant to be discovered, not announced.
Tabo, Karen Renberg. Now, sometimes a compliment's just that, buddy. It's just a compliment. I don't know why we read into it so much. Sometimes people just want to be nice. If I compliment someone, there's no ulterior motive. I just want to be nice. Just take it from that point of view. Someone just being kind and nice. So there's no fine line if you're just trying to be nice.
Yeah.
Hi, Tabo. You know, I love complimenting people. I compliment everyone, yes, women, gentlemen, young girls, young men. And this other day I complimented a colleague of mine. He's vendor and wearing nice outfit. Like, so this other day he was wearing a vendor attire. So I complimented him in vendor. I said, bonakas, something like that in vendor. And the guy came to me. He said, you wish we met earlier. And I was confused. When I asked him why, he said, because you always compliment me. Like, really?
Well, I suppose the frequency of a compliment to one individual just confirms consistency, right? And consistency may just verify something. And I'm just joking. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Tyron, I mean, you must send me your numbers, Tyron. I want to send you an e-wallet. Sometimes a compliment is just that, a compliment. What kind of a world are we living in where we can just share some niceties among us without the message being misconstrued to be something that is nasty, that comes from a place of nastiness and ugliness and no, it's just a compliment, guys. Just take a compliment. As a belief, just take a compliment. 13 minutes after 4 o'clock.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. And Karabo, the roads, how do they look like? Busy, mid-busy, or just okay?
Well, I could say it's looking pretty okay at this stage. No serious accidents have been reported, touch wood. Hopefully it keeps on like this for the rest of the afternoon. Otherwise, it is peak hour traffic, so things are a little bit slow in Bryanston. There's slow-moving traffic on the N1 southbound between Rivonia Road and Winnie Mandela Drive. Alex heading towards Germiston. Expect about a 20-minute delay on the N3 southbound between Marlborough Drive and Van Buren. Edenville also expect some delays heading into Bedfordview R24 westbound between Edenville Road and the Giluli's interchange, while in Protea Glen, Soweto, traffic sluggish. This is N12 westbound between the R554 Abu Bakr Drive and the R558. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Explore the wonders of Mpumalanga. Discover the ultimate wildlife experience that brings you closer to nature. Get your adrenaline rush with endless adventure activities. Explore breathtaking 4x4 routes or hike the Blyde River Canyon, the third largest in the world. Unwind with spectacular landscapes and majestic waterfalls. Make Mpumalanga your destination of choice. Mpumalanga, embrace the unknown, live the adventure. This message is brought to you by Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Visit mpumalanga.com for more information.
Johannesburg, the Tribute to Women show is here. Join us on the 24th of August at Marks Park in Emerentia as we honor 31 years of democracy and the incredible contributions of women in South Africa. Featuring an all-star lineup, Keisha White, Ami Faku, Thandiswa Mazwai, Loyiso, and more. Get your tickets now at webtickets.co.za. The Tribute to Women show, proudly presented by Shia Entertainment.
Ever driven 6 hours to get to a place that should have taken 1? Skip the detour with Sem Air, a proudly South African full-service airline, connecting you to 16 top destinations, whether it be for business or a break. Baggage included. Onboard snacks, always. Comfort and service, count on it. Because when your time matters, your airline should too. Book now at semair.co.za. Sem Air, more from your airline.
My friend always says, not my problem, bro. But what if it was your sister, your mother, your daughter? Gender-based violence is everyone's problem. And good men don't look away. If you see abuse, don't be silent. Report it. Call the SA Police on 10111 or the GBVF Command Center on 0800 428 428. Strong men protect. Strong women stand up. Together, we can end gender-based violence and femicide. Break the vicious cycle. Act now. A message from Government Communications, the GCIS.
Beyond the roads they built, beyond the maps they drew, lies a place only the bold will know, where mountains rise like giants and rivers test your will. With a 2.4-litre turbo diesel and off-road capability, the GWM tank was born for this. Venture further in the Tank 300 from only $7,999 per month. Visit gwm.co.za for T's and C's and to book a test drive. GWM, go with more. Brought to you by GWM Finance, a division of Westbank and authorized financial services and registered credit provider.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
How worried are you about the U.S. investigations into MTN in Afghanistan and sort of Iran?
What we announced to the market is that we've received a request for information from the Department of Justice. We're voluntarily cooperating with them. They have not accused us of any wrongdoing. And we felt that, because of the position that we hold, we would engage them, and we've engaged also with the SA authorities.
Ralph Mapita, the group CEO at MTN.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Curtis is brought to you by ABSA CIB, backing the Ideas Fund by advancing capital to African infrastructure investment managers. Your story matters. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
18 after 4. Welcome back. Thabo in for John. Keep those text messages coming through on 072 702 1702. You'd remember that just a little while ago, I think it was 4 or 5 days ago, President Trump of the U.S. had that very much highlighted meeting with Mr. Putin of Russia, and he gave him a red carpet, and the meeting was well publicized, and it was held in Alaska. A couple of days later, he met Mr. Zelensky of Ukraine together with various leaders of Europe, and that meeting also took place. I think many of us were tuned, glued to our TV screens last night as we were watching a number of those unfold, because we were very interested in knowing what is the latest. Will it bear any fruit? Are there any significant takeaways? But most importantly, Ukraine, will it experience peace thanks to President Trump? Thembisa Fakude is Senior Research Fellow for Africa-Asia Dialogues. Mr. Fakude, thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to 702. Good afternoon, and thanks for holding.
Thanks for having me.
What are we supposed to make of this? Because in the post-media discussions, and including the press conference itself, there were a bit of mixed messages, but it was more cordial than ever before. We saw the president of Ukraine coming in dressed a little bit decently, and I've got air quotes in case you can't see me on my YouTube line. He was dressed a little bit differently, and you wonder if it's not part of diplomatic charm. What do we make out of this meeting?
Well, I think it's, you can't really trust Donald Trump. He flip-flops. You never know what he says. He contradicts himself. Not long ago, I don't know whether you've been following the news, he said that Vladimir Putin might not necessarily accept the deal. So you don't know what to make out of it. And I think we just have to wait and see what's going to happen. But the presence of the European leaders in the White House, I think it was there to emphasize the point that they are behind Volodymyr Zelensky.
and that they support him. And that's very important messaging directed at Donald Trump, who changes like the weather. Last time when Volodymyr Zelensky was there, he berated him, and now we see him moving again to the initial position that has been held by his predecessors. So you don't really know what's going to happen. So we'll have to wait and see when that trilateral discussion takes place between himself, Vladimir Putin, and Volodymyr Zelensky on what's going to be communicated after that meeting. But for now, I think I'll take whatever is said by Donald Trump with a pinch of salt.
What are we to make of these European leaders, including the president of Ukraine, seemingly trying to move 10 steps closer to Trump, and he is perceived to be moving just 2 steps towards them, and the cordiality of the meeting, of course. It appears as though they were not there to ruffle feathers. They recognize the role and the cards that he has in his hands. Perhaps he's the only one who can communicate to Putin at this time. Whether there's quality in those discussions, it's something to be discussed. But was there any deliberate intention behind what they were putting forward in jest and in deed?
Yeah, I think that was important. You must remember the Europeans have got a lot to lose. If Putin thrives and succeeds in Ukraine, the next countries that will have to face Putin's ambitions is going to be European countries. And it's them that are also going to be facing Putin's wrath after having supported Volodymyr Zelensky and Ukraine for all these years. So they have interest in this, and they have interest in ensuring that this is solved as quick as possible, because it's also an expensive war, and most of them have no choice but to support the fight in Ukraine in support of the Ukrainians, because as I said, it's a matter of life and death for European countries. This precedence, if it indeed materializes, who knows? You might just see other countries throughout the world doing the same. Importantly, by the way, Israel will be extremely emboldened, especially with its ambition of greater Israel. We know now that they intend going into Lebanon, Syria, and other countries. So this precedence is extremely important. The other point which I think is very important to mention, Trump himself has talked about buying Greenland and going and occupying Canada. Again, these are no jokes no more. These are people who are hell-bent at actually destroying the current political status quo as we know it.
Mr. Thembisa Fakure is my guest, and we continue the discussion. He's Senior Research Fellow for Africa-Asia Dialogues, 23 after 4, and we are discussing the meeting between Zelensky, European leaders, and President Trump, how the meeting went, its implications. You might have a view. Feel free to proffer that view on 072-702-1702. Is it a step towards the right direction, or is it just a waste of time, as we have seen in the past? Mr. Fakure, we did realize that as much as there were smiles and the atmosphere was a little bit better than when we first saw the Ukrainian president in the Oval Office initially, where he was really embarrassed and lambasted. This time around, smiles were exchanged, but also there were sharp differences that were in the room. For instance, the German Chancellor, Friedrich Merz, we saw that he had expressed very clearly that he wanted the ceasefire to be put in place before further negotiations with Russia, and Trump rebuffed it.
Yes. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah. And to what extent do those differences really rattle someone like Donald Trump, who insisted that he's not very fascinated about ceasefire? He's in it for a long game. And as they were discussing, the explosions were heard in Ukraine.
Yeah, I mean, even that statement coming from a statesman, it's problematic. I mean, the first thing that I think Volodymyr Zelensky was hoping for was to hear Donald Trump pushing for a ceasefire, because that's what the people in Ukraine are calling for. Now you have Vladimir Putin bombing Ukraine, whilst at the same time Trump is meeting with the world leaders, including the Volodymyr Zelensky. This tells you the attitude of Vladimir Putin regarding Trump. He's got no respect for Trump. No, he fears Trump. I think he has kind of realize that his bark is much more bigger than his bite, and he's going to do as he pleases. And correctly so, when Trump said he doesn't think that Vladimir Putin is going to come up with a deal, I think that's going to be the case. Vladimir Putin would like to kick this war and continue with this war, and as much as he can, and especially now that you see him having economical or economic relationships and ties with countries such as China and Russia, and flexing his muscle as one of the main leaders of BRICS. So this is likely to go ahead for a very long time, and he's likely to get what he wants in terms of the territory that was won by him in 2014, particularly Crimea, and now we know that Trump is negotiating with him to get some of the territories that he did not even fight for. So Trump is talking about giving him certain territories that are still at the moment under the control of Ukraine. So you can imagine how the Ukrainians are feeling, but at the same time, you can imagine how emboldened is Vladimir Putin at the moment.
What's in it for Trump if this conflict ends and if he's able to put it to an end? A Nobel Peace Prize?
Well, that's it. He's already telling us that he managed somehow to solve 6 conflicts around the world. Of course, that includes the DRC, which is not really concluded. And that's, again, arguable because many people say that he was not even involved in the Pakistani-India war. But he's claiming that. So he wants a Nobel Peace Prize. He's got an ego of a small child, if you saw yesterday. He goes on a tangent whenever he's asked questions about certain things. It's all about himself and and what he has done. So, yes, he wants a Nobel Peace Prize. And, of course, he wants to make sure that he continues facilitating business for his friends and family.
Thembisa Fakure, much appreciated Senior Research Fellow for Africa-Asia Dialogues, 27 after 4.
EWN Business.
With the SG of broadcasting, Stephen Grootes is right in front of me. He'll give us the latest in the world of finances, markets, and everything else that's got to do with the economy. Micro or macro? How are you doing?
Really mustn't oversell it, Tabo. I mean, it doesn't mean I have an idea what's going on. If I had an idea what's going on, I'd be trading in it, not talking about it.
You're the SG after all, so we depend on you. You're the engine room of broadcasting. You're good, Stephen?
I'm good, thank you, Tabo. Yes. So the JSE All Share, pretty good too, actually. Up 0.35% at 101,499 points. Financials up 0.5%. Industrials up 0.6%. Resources down 0.5% on the day. Northern Platinum down 6.79%. Did report late yesterday, just as markets were closing. They expect that their profits will be down by around 25%. Its earnings per share to be down by around 20%. Now, Tabo, you're allowed to ask, but platinum prices are higher than they were. They're up by kind of a third. So what happened?
But platinum prices are higher than they were. What happened?
They're not high enough, is the short answer. The main reason is that what they call a low price environment, in other words, they're coming off a low base, takes a little while to sort of filter through, and that's what's really happened. Implat's down 2.42% at the moment as well, and Valterra also down 1.5%. Telkom down 2.46% on the day so far. I must say, Northern not the only ones having a tough day. BHP Billiton, the miner, the weak iron ore prices having an impact on them. Their underlying attributable profit is down by 26%. They're also going to spend a lot more money on capital and exploration. In other words, they're looking for more of the stuff. So I thought that was quite interesting. And then shares in Aveng, they were down 18% at one point. I mean, Aveng is a big company.
Yeah.
They're quite a lot stronger now. They reported losses. This was 5:30 yesterday after the market closed. They reported losses of nearly 1 billion rand. Revenue is down 14%. There are 2 massive projects that are having a big impact. The ones in Singapore is called the Jurong Region Line. They're building the stations on this railway line. And then there's the Kidson pumped storage hydro scheme in Australia. Basically, it's an attempt to sort of turn an old gold mine into a kind of hydroelectric facility. That's sort of the shorthand of it. And they're battling with all of those. The company does say the rest of their project portfolio is positive. Shares in MAS, and we know, of course, Prime Capital's launched a bid for them. MAS are up 4.5% today. Sappi are up 3.5%, and Sun International up 3.23%. Or Richmond having a strong day. They're up 3% on the day as well. In the US, the Dow opening higher. So So Home Depot, massive retailer in the States, it's keeping its forecasts intact. There's also, of course, that Federal Reserve conference scheduled later in the week. That's at Jackson Hole. The Dow Jones is up 0.47%, the Nasdaq down 0.28%, the S&P 500 up 0.09% so far. Looking at the dollar, the gold price, $3,336.19 an ounce. Platinum, $1,341.21. Brent crude, $65.88. And the rand to the dollar, 17.66 to the euro, 20.58 to the British pound, 23.85. Stephen Krutis, EWN Business.
Mbali Dlamini standing by to give us the very latest on Eyewitness News headlines. Mbali, what's the very latest?
Well, Thabo, a very good afternoon. We begin in Cape Town, where police have confirmed an attack on Parliament's Police Committee chairperson, Ian Cameron. He and others were travelling in Philippi when stones were thrown at their vehicle on the corner of Govan Mbeki. Paramedics and police are currently on the scene there. Western Cape Police Commissioner Tembisile Pategile.
Preliminary report is that there are some injuries on both of them. Most of the cases in smash and grab, they could be two possible reasons: hijacking and also trying to do robbery or theft out of motor vehicles.
In Gauteng, the Education Department has taken steps to enhance security around two schools in Roodepoort in the west of Johannesburg. This after the principal of Hoërskool Roodepoort sustained a stab wound on the hand while trying to de-escalate some clashes. A fight broke out between learners from Westridge High School and those at her school on Friday afternoon. The brawl was recorded and widely circulated on social media. The situation then escalated again yesterday when a group of Westridge learners are understood to have gone to Hoërskool Roodepoort, where they attacked learners and pelted cars with stones. Gauteng Education spokesperson Steve Mabona.
About 6 grade 12 boy learners from Westridge High have been identified and will be today suspended for 7 days pending their appearance in the disciplinary process. And further suspensions may be effected as the verification process continues.
To this now, Parliament's portfolio committees on international relations and defence have slammed what they call a lack of coordination in the country's defence diplomacy and its foreign policy objectives. The committees were responding to remarks made by Army General Rudzani Mapwanya, who is reported to have pledged South Africa's allegiance to Iran, a move described as being ill-advised by the president. Babalondenze has more.
The chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Defense and Military Veterans, Dakota Lehwete, and the chairperson of the International Relations Committee, Supra Omapilo, have noted with concern the reported remarks made by General Rudzani Mapwanya during his visit to Iran. Mapwanya's comments came during a time of tense diplomatic relations with the United States, one of Iran's biggest adversaries. Mahumapelo and Lehwete say the committees will have a joint meeting to engage with Defense Minister Angie Motshekga and her international relations counterpart Ronald Lamola to discuss the issue. Lehwete says it's evident that there is a worrying lack of coordination between defense diplomacy and South Africa's official foreign policy. Lehwete reiterated the committee's position that the SANDF must remain a professional and apolitical institution focusing squarely on its constitutional mandate to safeguard the Republic. Babalondenza, Eyewitness News.
And Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez has warned that difficult hours remain in the fight against wildfires that have ravaged a record area of land despite temperatures dropping. After 16 days of scorching heat, hitting to 40 degrees Celsius in many parts of Spain, today has seen lower temperatures and higher air humidity, across that country. The improved weather conditions have given firefighters an edge in their battle against massive fires raging in western Spain. The fires have burnt over 100,000 hectares in less than 2 weeks. A fine Wednesday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Lows of between 8 and 9 degrees and highs of between 25 and 27.
Traveling through Alexandra, you can still expect about a 20-minute delay. This is on the N3 southbound between Marlborough Drive and Van Buren. Edenvale, also bumper-to-bumper traffic. R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Gululi's interchange, and in Protea Glen, Soweto. You can still expect huge delays. This is on the N12 westbound between the R554 Abu Bakr Drive and the R558.
A top story in EWN, Cape Town police have confirmed an attack on Parliament's Police Committee chairperson Ian Cameron in Philippi this afternoon.
When you vote in Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko, you don't just support a business, you help rewrite its future.
Winning Gauteng's greatest, powered by Yoko, impacted our business in quite a few ways. And for our business, which is a family business, which was actually originally established in KZN, it was so important in establishing ourselves in Gauteng with our second location, which many people didn't even know. Of course, yes, I would encourage people to vote for their favorite establishment. It's really not hard to do, to just quickly go to Primedia Plus to cast your vote.
Winning Gauteng's greatest, powered by Yoko, has helped us to get that kind of public recognition, but this now gives that recognition to the staff who put in all that time and effort to give our customers the greatest pizza available. On behalf of us at Delta Cafe, I would strongly encourage all the listeners to go to Prime Media Plus and cast their votes.
Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko. Your vote is more than a click. It could be a game changer for your favorite local business. Vote now on primediaplus.com.
62 million rand in total estimated Powerball and Powerball Plus jackpots could see you rolling in the millions this Tuesday. Don't miss out. Play Powerball for an estimated 21 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 41 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529 hash for USSD. Panda Pusha Play. Players must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. Ituba is a proud operator of the National Lottery.
Let's rewind 6 years, when Twitter was still Twitter, not a letter of the alphabet. TikTok was simply the sound your clock made. And Zoom just meant enlarging a picture. So it makes you wonder, what will the next 6 years bring? Hino trucks now come standard with a 6-year drivetrain warranty, covering everything from pistons to gears. So although a lot can change in 6 years, our warranty promise won't. T's and C's apply. Hino, all the way.
Dear Journal, trying to be an adult, day 3274. Every time I go to a fancy birthday dinner, I'm reminded I'm just 5 fancy birthday dinners away from financial ruin. Note to self, don't make any more born in June friends.
Recently removed from the family payroll? Get covered at pineapple.co.za. It's like 570 Rand a month, so it's 100% the insurance for you. Underwritten by Old Mutual Alternative Risk Transfer Insurer Limited, licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. Premiums are risk profile dependent.
702.
WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
Hi, Tabo. I don't see anything wrong with your extended compliment. However, I hope that you didn't pay for 5,000 Rand worth of groceries. I just hope that whatever she was buying, it was maybe just a pie and a Coke, and not grocery at Woolworths or Checkers where you paid for a whole trolley of groceries amounting to 5,000. I just hope that is not the case. But anyway, you did a good thing with your compliment. I don't see anything wrong as long as it's less than 65 Rand.
Hey, Tibos, just out of curiosity, do you compliment across all races?
Yeah.
Or are you just doing that to only African ladies? Have you done that to a white lady, a stranger? Have you ever complimented a white lady, a stranger, just someone that you have never met? And what was the reaction? Thanks, bye.
Fantastic contribution. First one first, 65 rands limit. Very specific, ne? I hope it didn't go over. No, it didn't. It was just a Coke and chocolate. But generally, I don't want to say this on radio, but I'm a generous person. I bring chips to work every day. Does it mean that I'm attracted to the ladies when I give them chips and chocolates at work? No, that's just me extending. Well, I suppose I'm just a nice person. That's all. And I indeed, it didn't go over 65 rands. Great. One. Secondly, do I compliment people from different racial groups? Definitely. The other day I was in Sandton and there was this lady who was speaking she switched from English to Afrikaans as she was speaking to the salesperson on the other side of the till. I complimented her. I didn't know her from a bar of soap. And I was like, oh, you also do that. You switch. I love that. That is just so smart. And we had a lovely short conversation. And about clothes and other stuff, I tried to do that. And I often challenge my friends to do that as well. And I'd say, man, why let's compliment other people? And are you scared? Can't you speak English? That's what I say to my friends. So I do that, and the reaction differs. But it's a very interesting observation. I like that a lot. 072-702-1702. 19 minutes to 5 o'clock.
EWN Sport.
With Tholakele Mganga, who needs no complimenting at all because her sporting bulletins are always on the mark, sharp, precise, and very competent. Tholakele, what's the latest?
Jeez, Tawa, that's a lot to live up to. Well, Rassie Erasmus doesn't believe that the Springboks have an eighth-man crisis, having named Jean-Luc Dupré in the position for Saturday's Rugby Championship clash against Australia. In total, Erasmus has made 10 changes to the starting 15 for their second game against the Wallabies, with Jesse Kriel leading the side, while Cheslin Colby, Damien Delenda and Billy Leroux return. Dupré comes in for Siya Kolisi, who suffered a knee injury that ruled him out for 4 weeks.
I don't think there's an eighth-man crisis. Jasper Wiese is currently banned, so he'll be back. I think Sia was actually excellent. Sia scored a try, he sorted out the breakdown. His knee went of an unfortunate incident. And I thought Kwagga, when he came on one or two balls that he still unfortunately was deemed to be off his feet, or the ball wasn't out. And I think Kwagga always brought an impact. Yeah, we're not going to bring in somebody new. We believe the guys that we have here is doing the job for us.
Keshav Maharaj took career best figures of 5 for 33 as South Africa beat Australia by 98 runs in the first ODI. Sent into bat, the Proteas posted 296 for 8 thanks to Aiden Markram's top score of 82. And in response, the Baggy Greens were dismissed for just 198 in the 41st over.
As a cricketer, you want to get a 5 for on various formats and obviously tick the test box, and it's nice to finally get the one-day 5 for under the belt. Firstly, from point of series where we start very slowly, it's nice to put our front foot forward, and then to see how clinical we are. We're going to expect partnerships. It's not a case of just running through a very solid batting lineup. Yeah, we had the breakthrough, but we expected a partnership, but the guys were still quite diligent in terms of the execution and, quite clinical when we did get the wicket of Dwarses at the end.
Pakistan have downgraded the central contracts of Baba Azam, Mohammad Rizwan and Test captain Shan Masood. Baba Azam and Rizwan have been relegated from Category A to B deals, while Masood drops to Level D, which is their lowest tier, after Pakistan finished bottom of the 2023-25 World Test Championship cycle. And over to the Bedway Premiership, where games tonight include Richards Bay away to Kaizer Chiefs, whilst Kokunia United are up against Orbit College. Eric Tinkler's Chargers are looking for an immediate response to the MTN 8 first leg semi-final defeat to Stellenbosch, while he's also discussed the immediate impact Miguel Tim has had on his outfit.
I know Miguel. I've worked with Miguel for quite a long time, and Miguel just he's a great passer of the ball, great distributor of the ball, and he just gives you a little bit of composure through the midfield, so good signing for us.
Tholakele Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by cars.co.za. Let's find what moves you. How is it moving on the roads, Garabo? Fast, slow, or a bit medium?
Let me start in the city of Tshwane, Thabo. At this stage, Proclamation Hill, there's traffic pressure on Trans-Orania between Kwagga and the Dustport Tunnel. Also leaving the Pretoria CBD, traffic is sluggish on Eskiam Patlele. This is between Vomhagen and the R80. Joburg, Bryanston heading towards four-ways. Slow moving traffic on the N1 South between Rivonia Road and Winnie Mandela Drive. Also driving through Alex, you can now expect about a 30-minute delay. That's heading towards Germiston N3 South between the Butler Interchange and Van Buren. Leaving Sandton this afternoon, traffic heavily backed up on Greyston Drive between Sandton Drive and Catherine. Not yet clear what's causing this delay. Pretty unusual at this hour. So if you're in and around Sandton on that route, please let us know. WhatsApp us on 072-702-1702. There's also delays in the Edenvale area approaching Bedford View. R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Kilulis Interchange. South of Joburg, Devland, slow moving traffic due to roadworks on the Golden Highway between the N1 and on Union Avenue. Protea Glen, traffic heavily backed up on the R559 main road. That's opposite GOG Gardens. I'll have your next Eyewitness News traffic update just after 5.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Majestic handling. A V8 horsepower that is. This is very annoying. I'm trying to read a car radio advertisement.
Whatever car you want to buy or sell, cut through the and just go to cars.coza and let's find what moves you. Cars.coza.
702 Podcast
on primemediaplus.com.
That's where you'll get everything else that you might have missed on this show and other shows. primemediaplus.com. 14 minutes to 5 o'clock. Welcome back, Tolageli. I hope you're good. Still?
I am. What's about Tabo? You're just starting a very weird beef between me and you for no reason.
No, I'm not starting beef. I'm saying welcome back.
Thank you, Tabo.
Okay. I see you're suspicious of me, but that's all right. I wanted to ask you and Garabo about this. I mean, it seems like South Africans are used to bad customer service. You go to a restaurant, not all restaurants, of course, but some, and you are not treated well. Perhaps the waiter takes too long to come through, and your food takes too long. It's not what you ordered. You're at a petrol station. They are tending to their other cars before yours, and you were there at 5 minutes. I think we're generally used to bad customer service, and we've become numb to it of sorts. And we scream, we shout, we go to the manager, or you just walk away. The question, however, Tolagele and Karabo, that I want to ask the two of you is this. When you get great service, perhaps to your amazement, perhaps to your pleasant surprise, when you get just immaculate customer service, just above the bar, someone going beyond the call of duty and giving you the best service ever, what do you do? Do you tip them handsomely, or do you call their manager and tell them about it? What do you do? Garabo, let's start with you.
Geesh, this is But first and foremost, you can't compliment a fish for swimming.
Oh, there we go.
And it's your job. It's your job to give me the exceptional service. I've worked at retail. I've went all out for customers.
Yeah.
And compliments, I appreciate it, but take it further. Tell it to the manager, because just complimenting me, it's not.
What do you do now?
What do I do?
Yeah, I thought so. You don't take it to the manager now, hey?
Because I expect it from you. So if it's a good service, I'll give you a big fat smile and a nice thank you.
Oh, yeah,
but
that
nothing
pays the
more,
bills.
nothing less, because it is your job after all. That's why it's called customer service.
The big fat smile pays the bills, takes the kids to school.
I'm a customer. I'm going to come back. So the business is going to be more sustainable.
Or repeat business.
Yes, that is how I pay back.
They'll
see me more often.
Tolagele, you?
Not gonna lie, if I was a waiter or waitress, I'd prefer the money over him coming back. For me, I will let you know with my tip, and also I'll give a compliment and let the manager know that, hey, this person. And also some restaurants do like Google reviews.
Yes.
Put it in the Google review so people can know that, hey, this is the place to be. If you've learned like specific waiters, I've gone to lodges and places where I'm like, these are the 4 people there that treated me really nicely. Next time I go there, I can't wait to experience them again. Whatever you can, you blast it, and you talk about, because also just because people work in the customer service industry, yes, they are serving you, but when as a person, you are very difficult already.
Of course.
So they learn to adjust themselves in order to accommodate your difficult lifestyle and make sure that your stay there is comfortable. So even if it's just an extra 50 Rand, an extra 100 Rand, just to show appreciation. That's what it is. Yes, it's their job, but you're showing appreciation that they're going above and beyond.
For their fish to swim.
I wouldn't say it. Tabo, technically, we're also in the customer service industry.
We are.
And our payback or our tip is the voice notes. So when you're not getting that, it's telling you that, well, buddy, you're swimming in the wrong direction. So there's different incentives that are used to gauge how satisfactory your work is. When you are just using the money, we have the voice notes to guide us in terms of the work we do.
And I suppose other things as well. Some people may be shy to do that, but they'll tune in. And the numbers will show that there's movement to this effect.
They don't have to do it. They choose to do it.
Yes.
And just show appreciation and say thank you for
Is
the
it
great work
because
you do.
we are so used to bad customer service that when it crops up, when it pops up, it is more of an exception than a norm?
For me, I don't think there's a used to bad customer service. I think it's also an understanding that maybe because sometimes even you being silent is you giving me good customer service. And I'm like, I appreciate the fact that you clocked on. I was wearing my headphones and I didn't want to chat.
Oh, you're an Uber driver.
Yes.
You said nothing.
So because you did all of those things, I'm like, thank you for respecting how I'm moving.
Yes.
And you adjusted your personality to accommodate me.
Well, we'd like to know from you. How do you respond? How do you react? How do you express a view, if you do at all, to great customer service? 072 702 1702. 9 minutes to 5.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
702 indeed. Klanti Pai, it needs no introduction at all. Independent economist. We've asked for his few minutes to utilize very productively, just to try and explain to mere mortals like myself about the rent manipulation case that has been heard, the matter that has been heard in the Constitutional Court. Of course, the Competition Commission raised this issue, and it's a matter of an appeal now, and jurisdiction is at the center of the arguments. Kanti, always great talking to you. Welcome once more to 702. Good afternoon.
It's very good to talk to you too, and good afternoon to your listeners.
Let's start with the basics, and please, I apologize for elementary questions, but I think at times we forgo the basics, assuming that everyone understands. What exactly is rand manipulation, and why is it that these banks have been accused of rand manipulation in this instance between the US currency and the South African one?
Sure. So when people are looking to buy things like, say, for example, you're buying a stock or a share, or you're buying goods, say you're buying South African fruit or American, cell phones, whatever it is that you're buying, you need to buy that in that country's currency. So in South Africa, for example, you'll know that we export, for example, say the fruits, agricultural products or gold. Americans need to buy the rand itself, so because they can't actually buy that in dollars because the price in rand, and that's true the other way around. So these banks will sell each other, and as it's being argued now, you have traders who are actually people that have been approved by the Reserve Bank, because ordinary people can't buy for themselves. So you'll have traders in the different institutions like banks themselves, and they will go and actually sell to these people to buy, say, South African products or stocks or shares or invest money in South Africa first, and then they do that. So between them trying to sell to each other, what happens is that one will say, look, I'd like to buy this amount of rand, I'd like to buy this amount of rand, and then there's a difference between what the one person is buying in and the other person is selling, much like any product.
Yes.
So that's what they will speak to a bid and offer. So I'm offering you at this, and the other one is saying I'm bidding, or I'm buying at this price. And then there's a differential there, what they call a spread. And that difference in the two, of course, is what people make a profit on. So like any product, like everything that is sold in all functional economies, free, open economies, we are supposed to not collude. We're supposed to compete against one another so that actually the prices are competitive, that actually the market itself is fair, and we actually find that the outcomes will also be fair. But if you and I are selling and buying and selling, and we actually tell each other what price we are actually going to be dealing with, and I'm about to make this trade, I'm about to do this, then I'm giving you information, for example, that may help you profit unfairly, or we can set the price itself at a price that is actually not competitive, which means actually we are manipulating the price. It's the same thing we've heard before. When they were used to manipulate bread prices, so when bread sellers used to sit together and say, in order for us not to compete and to make a lot of money, let's actually go and set the price. So me, as bread producer one, I'm going to sell at 15 rand. I'm not going to compete with you, so you can set your price at 16. You can set your price at 15.50, so that we're all close and we don't actually make losses, or we're all going to sell it at 15 rand, so that there's no competition, and that's illegal.
Yeah, and I think you have brilliantly summed it up and dissected it for all of us to understand. Of course, the issues of collusion comes to the fore, cartel behavior, and and mainly stifling competition, which needs to be existing for everyone else to, especially the customers outside, to benefit appropriately. But in this instance, an argument has been made about the jurisdiction of the Competition Commission, right?
Correct. And the main thing is that, of course, the prices here, the banks that are involved here are both the South African banks, but also international institutions that themselves also participate, of course, in the trading. And whether or not actually the Competition Commission itself has jurisdiction. Another thing that they're arguing is this idea of being issues that affect them or things that are incidental to their work. So basically, or companies that are incidental. So basically, they look at that and they say, look, if I am in America, can these people, do they have, I guess, let's call it, impact on me? Can they actually charge me? Because I'm not a South African bank, and therefore I'm not under the act that applies to competition in South Africa. And they're saying, look, we have jurisdiction because actually this impacts competition in South Africa. This impacts the ways it has implications or is incidental South African issues. So they're saying, look, all those people were part collusion here because they actually affected the rand, because they actually affected the price of the rand and the functioning of the South African economy and the pricing and the issues of South Africa. We actually do have jurisdiction, and therefore we should be able to charge them and bring them to book in South Africa, as it were. Much like I guess you would say that if somebody, if for South African lawyers, do we have somebody, if we step, if somebody commits a crime that affects South Africans, should they have some jurisdiction over them? Can they be charged if they're Americans? Can Americans be charged for South African crimes? I guess is a simple way of putting it, and that's what they're finding out. Is saying, look, these American institutions, British institutions, were actually participating in activities that actually implicated and actually have meaning to the work of the Competition Commission and obviously the laws that empower the Competition Commission, and in that sense should be therefore be charged and be affected by the work of the Competition Commission and brought to book by the Competition Commission.
Auntie, thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Let's chat again in the near future. 2 minutes to 5 o'clock.
Bongani Bingwa, 702 Breakfast.
Weekday mornings, 6 to 9. This idea that private car owners are now being forcibly stopped by taxi operators from having passengers in their car because the taxis believe those are commuters who should be paying them to get from A to Z and shouldn't be getting that ride for free in your car. This is the thinking we are dealing with when it comes to the taxi associations. And I've long been saying we keep ignoring this problem and it's not going to go away.
Bongani Bingwa, 6 to 9.
On 702.
Naked people are popular at Braais. They're top of the guest list every time and always rock up with the primo cuts. That's because naked people save cash every month with online car and home insurance, which means less money spent on insurance premiums and more money for lamb chops the size of your face. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds and get naked, people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
Are you looking for the best savings on spectacles? At Specsavers, enjoy 1,500 Rand off when you get tested at South Africa's trusted and most established optical group. Get 1,500 Rand off all frames in store, or use your 1,500 Rand off on our leading lens enhancements, such as drive light lenses that reduce artificial glare whilst driving. Book online or call your nearest store today. Affordable eye care, Specsavers. T's and C's apply.
Let's walk the talk.
702.
702 indeed. It's almost 5 o'clock and we'll get eyewitness news from Bali Dlamini. On the dot, 5 o'clock.
This is EWN.
DA MPs attacked in Cape Town following an oversight visit, and the state wants a harsh sentence for a self-confessed child killer. Good afternoon, I'm Bali Dlamini. We begin in Cape Town, where police are investigating an attack on 3 DA members of Parliament in Philippi this afternoon. It's understood Parliament's Police Committee chairperson Ian Cameron and DA MP Nicholas Gotzel fell victim to a smash-and-grab incident. They were in the area to conduct an oversight visit at a police training college today. According to police, they sustained injuries after bricks were thrown at the vehicle they were travelling in. Paramedics and police are currently on the scene. Western Cape Police Commissioner Tembisile Pategile.
Preliminary report is that there are some injuries on both of them. Most of the cases in smash and grab, they could be two possible reasons: hijacking and also trying to do robbery or theft out of motor vehicles.
To this now, Taxi Association Santaco says only 30% of its taxi drivers have undergone consequence management amid complaints of bullying from commuters, including the forceful removal of passengers from private cars. The revelation comes on the back of accusations that operators are behind a recent gruesome attack outside Maponya Mall in Soweto, which claimed the life of an e-hailing driver. The taxi body addressed members of the media earlier on sector challenges. Chairperson Midday Mali says some victims choose not to report the cases, fearing further intimidation.
They can identify the patrol vehicle. It belongs to a certain association. They go and report, then the case is set down so that they can listen to the complainant, those who are creating those problems on the road. Some of them, they get suspended from the association. Some of them, they get expelled.
The body's public relations officer, Mandla Hermanis, echoed Mali's sentiments, saying accountability is non-negotiable.
When you kill someone within the industry, there is a high probability that you will be arrested and convicted. If there isn't that, then the incentive is there for people to think they can act with impunity.
Let's stay with this story. Angry e-hailing drivers who have been protesting in Johannesburg today have blamed the Gauteng Transport Department for an attack which claimed a driver's life at Maponya Mall in Soweto. Last week, Mthokozi Simvelase was shot and killed before his and another e-hailing vehicle was set alight. The demonstrators have accused the department of failing to address their concerns, including their safety and that of commuters. They allege their cries have fallen on deaf ears, leading to increased violent attacks allegedly at the hands of competing taxi operators. Ntokozo Khumalo has more.
E-hailing operators are currently at the Department of Transport's office to hand over a long memorandum of demands. They have accused the MEC of failing to deploy a taxi violence task team in the province for their safety. In the latest incident, an e-hailing driver was shot and killed outside Maponya Mall last week. E-Hailing Partners Council chairperson Henry Matebula says the victim, Mthokozi Simvelase's death, could have been avoided.
They are sitting here with a taxi violence task team that has been put to deal with these issues. Maponya Mall will not have happened if ever the department and the MEC would have done the right thing.
Matebula added that the sector is in desperate need of regulations to mitigate bullying by other public transport operators. Ntokozo Khumalo, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
We shift to a story now which contains some disturbing details of violence against children. The state has requested the Joburg High Court to impose the maximum penalty for Pete Sarasi-Miao, who has pleaded guilty to the kidnapping, rape and murder of 6-year-old Amandle Samane. According to police, the little girl was snatched while playing outside in Orlando, Soweto last year. She was then raped, strangled and her body hidden in Simiao's home. The court heard final arguments today and has postponed sentencing to the 1st of September. Mongezi Koko has the details.
In aggravation of sentence, the state requested that Simeão receive 5 years for kidnapping, life imprisonment for rape, life imprisonment for murder, and a further 5 years for contravening the Immigration Act. The defense did not oppose these submissions, maintaining only that Simeão showed remorse by pleading guilty and cooperating with the court. Earlier, Amantle's mother, Ntombi Samane, delivered a victim impact statement. Visibly emotional, she spoke of the family's anguish and deep pain caused by the loss of a daughter. The judge said the court would consider both the mitigating and aggravating factors before sentencing.
The court has consulted its diary. The court is intending to impose sentence in this matter. Its earliest availability, Monday the 1st of September.
Simeão remains behind bars until his next appearance. Mongi Zikoko, Eyewitness News.
And the United Nations says a record number of aid workers were killed in 2024, branding the figures and lack of accountability as a shameful indictment of international apathy. To mark World Humanitarian Day today, the UN says state actors are the most common perpetrators of the killings last year, while warning that this year's toll is equally disturbing. 383 aid workers were killed last year, up 31% from the previous year. The UN says most of those killed were local staff attacked in the line of duty or in their homes. Gold is trading at $3,336.18 an ounce. The rand is at 17.62 to the dollar, 23.80 to the pound, 20.57 to the euro, and Brent crude oil is at $66.60 a barrel.
In Proclamation Hill, Pretoria, you can expect about an hour delay on Trans-Orania between Kwacha and the Dustbot Tunnel due to an earlier accident. Leaving the Pretoria CBD, traffic is also sluggish in Hermanstad on Eskiam Pahlele between Vomhagen and the R80, and if you're leaving Sandton, traffic remains sluggish on Greyston Drive between Sandton Drive and Catherine.
In your sport, Kaizer Chiefs target 3 wins in a row in the Bedway Premiership. Keshav Maharaj produces career-best figures as the Proteas thrash Australia. And the Springboks plot Cape Town turnaround after heavy defeat to the Wallabies.
A fine Wednesday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Johannesburg dropping to overnight lows of 9 degrees, peaking at 26. Pretoria 9 and 27, and Vereniging 9 and 25 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Police are investigating an attack on 3 DA members of parliament in Philippi in Cape Town this afternoon.
EWN, in touch, in tune, and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
702.
Live
On the Prime Media Plus app.
DSTV channel 856.
92.7.
And 106 FM. Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 5 o'clock, you are on 702. Thanks for sticking with us, staying with us all this time from 3. And if you've just joined us, welcome. Where have you been? But we are glad that you are here. We've got a lot still in store for you. You need to stick around. And if you've missed out on anything at all, feel free to check various podcasts and content that you might have missed out on the show on primemediaplus.com. That's where you'll get everything else. We will touch shortly on that very tragic issue of life Esidimeni. What is the very latest? Are we ever going to see prosecutions? We'll be speaking to in the short while Sesha Stevenson, Executive Director at Section 27, to give us the very latest. As I had said a little bit earlier on, Christine Ngumalo is also the sister to one of the victims, and she'll give us her views. But later on, we will obviously play the song, as John always does, as it is tradition on the show. 011-883-0702. That's a number to dial if you'd like to get in touch with us for this, that, or the other. However, if you prefer texting, sending a voice note, you are most welcome to do so on 072-702-1702.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
Yo, Karabo, I do not agree with you on this customer service thing. I understand that, yes,
if you're in a customer-facing position, you should be able to execute the job of serving a customer. But the levels of serving a customer are very different. The same way that in any job, if I do it excellently, I'll be upset if I don't get a bonus for going above and beyond or doing my job super well. That's how I consider the tips. The tip is a sign, an immediate sign to say, what you're doing is working, what you're doing is valuable, I appreciate the extra effort that you're giving. Thank you so much. And I'd love to see you again. When we come back, I'll ask for you by name. I 100% do not agree that you should just, yes, you should expect good service, but you should also reward good service.
Yeah, and that's a very interesting one for you, Karabo, there. You must reward, or you should reward good service. I'd love to hear from you about that. In case you've just joined us and you're wondering what are they talking about, we asked, if you get great service, what do you do? How do you react to it? Because we all know that if you get bad service, you complain, you write back, you want to see the manager, you want to go back there again. But what if you are pleasantly surprised by a great service? What do you do and how do you respond? Send your text messages, voice notes to 072 702 1702. 11 minutes after 5.
EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Karabo Chali will tell us what's the latest on our roads.
Well, let me start in the city of Tshwane, Proclamation Hill. You can expect about an hour delay on Trans Orania between Kwacha Road and the Dustboard Tunnel due to an earlier accident, so avoid that route at all costs. Also leaving the Pretoria CBD, traffic remains sluggish in Hermanstad on Eskiam Pahlele between Vomhagen and the R18. Driving through Alexandra, expect about a 30-minute delay. That's heading towards Germiston. N3 southbound from the Bethlehem interchange all the way to Van Buren. Leaving Sandton, traffic heavily backed up. This is on Greyston Drive between Sandton Drive and Catherine, while in Edenvale, heading towards Bedford-View bumper-to-bumper traffic. R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Kilulis interchange. South of Joburg in Devland, heading into Eldorado Park, roadwork slowing down traffic on the Golden Highway between the N1 and Union Avenue, and in Protea Glen, Soweto, expect heavy delays on the R559. That's Main Road opposite GOG Gardens. If you come across any other traffic issues, please WhatsApp us on 072 702 1702.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever late excuse number 75. I had to rescue my neighbor's cat from a tree. Fortunately, with the Outsurance pointsmen on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance pointsmen easing traffic congestion and getting you there quickly and safely since 2005. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702, show them some love online using hashtag pointsmenlove. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702.
Let's walk the talk on 92.7
and 106 FM.
You'd remember that very sad story about Life Esidimeni, which saw 144 mental health care users lose their lives, and more than 1,400 others exposed to severe violations of their human rights and dignity. Remember that very well. And this has been described by many as one of the worst health disasters in a democratic South Africa. 9 years later, criminal charges have yet to be lodged against those deemed to be responsible for the incident. And today we received a press release, a note from Life Esidimeni families on the NPA's ongoing delay in prosecution decision. And this is by Section 27. And they are saying that the Life Esidimeni families met yesterday with the NPA. They were represented by Acting Director of Public Prosecutions, Advocate Marika Jansen van Vieren. The meeting follows years of delays, of course, as you would have known. And at the meeting, the NPA informed the families that it received legal opinion that recommends prosecution of former Gauteng MEC for Health, Gayton Mahlangu, and former Director of Mental Health, Dr. Makgabo Manamela. I'm joined by Sasha Stevenson, Executive Director at Section 27. Sasha, thanks for your time. Welcome to 702 again. Is this perhaps, I wouldn't call it victory, but is this some comfort of sorts that Section 27 has been pushing for on behalf of the victims? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tawa. Thank you. Yes, I mean, it certainly is an important and meaningful step in the right direction. The families have been fighting this battle together with their allies, including Section 27, for a very long time to ensure justice in this case. And at the meeting yesterday, it did seem like we are moving in that direction, that the NPA has received a legal opinion that recommends prosecution of Ms. Mahlangu and Dr. Manamela for the deaths of 2 mental health care users. And so that's certainly positive. Our concern is that a decision still hasn't been made as to whether that prosecution will happen. And so we're now really waiting for that decision to be made, a decision that we've been waiting for a very long time.
Right step indeed, but Sasha, I'm sure some family members whose names or whose victims are not included in the 2 may feel hard done by and may feel that they would have loved to see their family members included in this as well.
Absolutely. It's really difficult and frustrating to know that someone you loved who died under such horrendous circumstances as a result of the conduct of 2 people who the inquest judge identified as having been responsible, having contributed or caused the deaths of all these mental health care mental health care users. That the names of the person that you love isn't included in that prosecution, and that their deaths won't directly be prosecuted. So that's a source of real pain and frustration. And the other source, as I say, is the long delay in this case. Really, as the families, our clients are calling out for an urgent consideration of prosecution and decision to prosecute. The NPA really has everything it needs. It has an inquest judgment that came out of 140 days of evidence being given under oath before the inquest judge, 60-something thousand pages of evidence. And now, of course, we know a legal opinion that suggests that there should be a prosecution. So really, we can only urge the NPA to move more quickly to institute a prosecution so that we can finally see some accountability in this case.
What is outstanding, Sasha, before I go to Christine? What is outstanding in the path? Because at this point, it's a recommendation, right? And I'm cautious to and wary to think that if it's a recommendation, it may even go either way. But what is still outstanding before a solid decision is made, and we know that definitely the prosecution will go on?
Well, the NPA needs to make the decisions. It's for the NPA to decide whether and who and on what basis to prosecute. And what the NPA told the families yesterday is that it hasn't yet made this decision, but it has the inquest judgment and it has a legal opinion, both of which recommend prosecution. So, the NPA needs to make its call, but of course it has all of this evidence and the essentially recommendations of both a high court judge and a senior counsel. And so we really hope that it'll take those recommendations very seriously and move quickly to institute those prosecutions. It really has just been too long now.
Christine Ngumalo is part of the Life Esidimeni Family Committee, also a sister to one of the victims, Miss Virginia Machpela. And Christine joins us right now. Christine, do you feel that, good afternoon firstly, and thanks for joining us. Is this somehow giving you hope that there is a light at the end of this tunnel? How do you feel about this moment?
Good afternoon. To be honest with you, yes, it's a step in the right direction, but it is far from where or what we had hoped to the news to receive. From 144 to 2 is not an ideal situation. So I think the families are asking, how did we get from 144 to 2? What is so different? As Sasha mentioned, that there was so much evidence and how did we get to that point. So, yeah, it's a step in the right direction. As to are we happy? Perhaps because it's prosecution. But as the rest of the families, as you can imagine, are not happy because they wanting to understand how is it that their loved ones were actually left out of the process.
How have the families been? Because time does not always heal the wounds, especially if there are some outstanding issues, particularly if those issues are of sentimental value, of if those issues are emotional, it just doesn't go away. How have the families been holding up? And please tell us a little bit as well about the work of the committee. How have you been able to sustain yourselves in these difficult times?
Look, our wounds are reopened every time we have to, get news or get an update or get feedback, the way we've been getting feedback. As to how we're holding up is the fact that we are, as families, come together and we've been working together in this regard. So that's how we stand together and how we support each other. I don't know how else to put it, but if it wasn't for the help of SADC and Section 27, I honestly don't think us as families would have survived this long and even have been able to keep up the fight for so long. As a poor person in South Africa, you're not represented. You lose everything. You don't actually get to represent your family as much as you would want to.
And Christine, I want to ask this as sensitively as possible. Please pardon me if in any way I sound insensitive, but what would justice look like for you as the families of the 144? How do you imagine it to be, or how would you have wanted it to play itself out? This concept of justice for the family. Of course, it wouldn't bring your loved ones back, but something that would offer appropriate solace.
Look, for us, the ideal situation is the fact that we could get Mahlangu and Manamela prosecuted, standing trial, having to answer for what they have done for all 144 patients who died. We're probably never going to get the 144, but at least if we could get a bigger number than 2, would be an ideal situation for us. But somebody needs to be held accountable. That is ideal. That is the most ideal situation for us because it cannot go it cannot go unpunished. It really cannot.
I'm speaking to Sasha Stevenson, the Executive Director at Section 27, and also on the line is Christine Ngumalo, who is part of the family or of the Life Esidimeni Family Committee and sister to one of the victims. And this comes on the backdrop of the announcement that a recommendation has been made to prosecute the former MEC of Health, Dani Mahlangu, together with Dr. Manamela, and Section 27 and others have been doing a lot of work in the background trying to get a little bit of justice for these families. This came through today, and it must be said that the NPA is yet to make a decision around this. You'd remember that there were 144 deaths, and out of those, only 2 of those cases will be going under prosecution. And I would love to hear from you because this story really shook up South Africa. Feel free to send your voice notes and your calls to 072-702-1702. Sasha, at this particular point, where to from here? Is everything else in the hands of the NPA? Are you in touch with them? And of course, you are in touch with the families. But where to from here after this announcement? I'm sure it is triggering another subsequent action in this very sad value chain of this tragedy.
Yes, everything is in the hands of the NPA. It has been in the NPA's hands since July last year when High Court Judge Tefo made a decision in the inquest that said on the face of it the actions and inaction of 2 people were responsible for the unnatural deaths of at least 9 of the mental health care users. So it's in the hands of the NPA to decide on prosecution. That is, as an independent body, that is the role of the NPA. They're the ones who can bring prosecution. And so really for Section 27 and for the families and for all of the people who have been following this disaster and this huge tragedy that has really affected so many people across the country, I think we are all just calling on the NPA to make the right decision here, to institute a prosecution, to make sure that there is justice and accountability for these deaths, and to send an important message that the lives of vulnerable people, of mental health care users, cannot be treated lightly, and that the deaths of these people cannot be treated lightly, that their lives are valued, and that conduct that causes their deaths will be punished.
The work that has been done behind the scenes, Sasha, of course, it must have been tiresome, it must have been exhausting, but very necessary, one should add. To what extent has the Department of Health added any value to the work that you have been doing?
Well, it's been a very long process, since 2015, 2016, when families first heard about the termination of the contract with Life Esidimeni and tried to prevent any moves without adequate plans through engagement, through protest, through litigation, through the arbitration process in 2017 in front of former Deputy Chief Justice Monsoon, where there was a huge amount of evidence put forward and responses by the Department of Health nationally and provincially, through the inquest that went 2021 till 2023 and judgment last year. And now this, as you say, there's been a huge amount of work and a large number of stakeholders who have been involved. I think what was important was that following the arbitration, there were some moves in the right direction by the Gauteng Department of Health to try and improve the mental health care system. But we know that there are still significant problems in the mental health care system, particularly the unavailability of community-based mental health care services and the focus only on psychiatric hospitals, which are certainly important, but don't cater to the vast majority of people who need mental health care services. So it's really important for Gauteng Health and for National Health to really focus more on the provision of services to people with mental illnesses and intellectual disabilities, including at community level, so that more people can be taken care of closer to home, and that disasters like this don't happen again when people are moved out of facilities and into places that can't care for them.
Executive Director at Section 27, Sasha Stevenson, Christine Ngomalo, part of the Life Esidimeni Family Committee and sister to one of the victims. Very sad story, 27 minutes after 5.
EWN Business.
And it brings us to Stephen Grootes, the SG of Broadcasting. He has got the very latest on all matters finance in and around the world. Stephen Grootes, what's the latest, bro?
Good afternoon, Taba. You're a kinder man than most markets. The JSE Ore share up 0.05% on the day, so selling off a little bit towards the end at 101,196 points. Financials up 0.3%, industrials up 0.4%, resources down 1.17%. So slightly weaker platinum prices, I think, changes in the outlook. The usual sort of platinum story, if I can put it like that. And Northern Platinum, a big casualty of that. Now, they did report that they expect their profits to be down by 25%. Higher platinum prices sort of not high enough, not coming in quickly enough to save this financial year for them. They're down 7.78% on the day. Tungela are down 3.16%. Implats and Valterra both down by nearly 3% on the day as well. And Sibanye also down 1.5%. Shares in Avenge trending up towards the day, but they were down by 18% at one point. Still huge problems with their big railway line project in Singapore, that hydro pump scheme in Australia, and that means that they are expecting to make a loss of around 1 billion rand. We'll get a little bit more when their full results come out next week, I presume. Sasol shares up by 5%, and Maz shares is up 3.9%. There's that takeover deal in the works with Prime Capital. And I suspect it's not the end of that Maz story. Some of the minority shareholders might well have strong views on that. And then some of the consumer shares doing quite nicely. Woolies up nearly 3.5%, Discount up 3.25%, Pick and Pay up 2.79%, Sun International up 3.24% on the day. BHP Bulletin saying that weak iron ore prices having a big impact on them. Their profits down by 26%. Still going to spend a lot more money on exploration and capital equipment, though. They're betting big on the future. Let's put it like that. In the US, the Dow quite strong, opening quite strongly, mainly because of results out of Home Depot. The Dow Jones is now up 0.25%, but the Nasdaq is down 1%. The S&P 500 is down 0.31%, and the gold price $3,322.51. Platinum $1,317.76. Brent crude $66.01 a barrel. The rand to the dollar 17.65, to the euro 20.60, to the British pound 23.83. On the Money Show tonight, what the sort of currency manipulation case in the Constitutional Court? What's on the line for us? Now, look, there are a lot of reputations on the line for the banks, but also for the Competition Commission and perhaps our authorities in general. I mean, I suppose you could easily make a moral argument if you work against the rand anywhere in the world, we should be able to move against you.
Yeah.
And if you're in Beijing,
what do you do? What do you do?
Now, again, the US is able to protect its interests. We should be able to protect ours. So there are all sorts of very interesting conversations we'll have around this. And then, obviously, the question, could this impact the value of the rand? From what I understand, it's not possible that over time it would have an impact. We'll talk a bit more about that on the Money Show as well. We'll also be looking at, and I think this could be quite important, do you remember the story around how the EU might refuse to take some goods that are made here if they're made with coal-fired electricity?
Yes.
So now Eskom is able to sell you, as Thabo, electricity that comes only from their solar installations.
Oh, my goodness.
So you can get around that. But, I want to know how that works. I mean, where does the electron go?
Well, we have to tune into your show between 6 and 8 to understand all of that.
Electrons and hopefully some electricity. Stephen Curtis, EWN Business.
One way or the other, it will be electrifying. Stephen's show, Money Show, between 6 and 8. But for now, Mbali Dlamini standing by with Eyewitness News headlines. Mbali, good afternoon. What's the latest?
Well, Thabo, good afternoon. Sport, Arts and Culture Minister Gayton McKenzie says digging up old social media posts to allege that he is a racist is all part of an orchestrated campaign against him because of the inroads his party has been making in the political arena. He has been unapologetic about these posts that are now under investigation by the SA Human Rights Commission. McKenzie has also questioned why the Open Chats podcasters who made derogatory comments against coloured people are not being pursued with the same vigour. The outcry over McKenzie's posts on X was sparked by the complaint that he laid against those podcasters. Lindsay Dentlinger reports.
Minister Gayton McKenzie says he doesn't believe he's made any racially inflammatory remarks. In a social media message to supporters last night, McKenzie said he will not apologise for social media posts deliberately taken out of context.
But it's very obvious people are intimidated by me. This is an operation. How do you go back 15 years? That makes me happy because it means they can't find something in my present.
McKenzie has also dismissed claims that by refusing to resign, he's desperate to cling to his job, as his political opponents call for him to step down.
I don't want them to think I'm going to say things in order to keep a job. No, not me. That's not me. Let's go kill the boer, kill the farmer. That's racism.
McKenzie has also rallied behind mixed martial arts fighter Dricus du Plessis, saying he too has been falsely accused of racism. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News.
The city of Johannesburg has acknowledged that it needs to be more proactive in addressing the housing crisis in Alexandra. The Metro has been conducting a site visit in the township today to assess conditions along the busy Vincent Shabalala Road. An informal settlement has emerged along parts of that road, raising concerns of encroachment on municipal property. Alpha Ramushwana reports.
Sewage water is visibly flowing down the street on Vincent Shabalala Road in Alexandra, with burst pipes adding to the problem. A sight that is hard to ignore is how children from Iputeng Primary School have to navigate these conditions on their walk home. However, some of them live in an informal settlement right across the street, which was directly built on the road. Johannesburg Development Planning MMC Eunice Mgina warns that this poses a safety risk, as some of the structures may be standing on top of electricity cables beneath the road.
We need human settlement to play part in this process of demolition. Alex is one of the priority areas that we have identified in the department to come and demolish some of the structures that are erected illegally.
She says the city is in the process of finding solutions to the many issues in the township. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News in Alexandra.
And the Hawks have made a major breakthrough in dismantling a transnational rhino horn trafficking network worth millions of rands. A 7-year investigation by the Hawks' Wildlife Tracking Unit uncovered a fraudulent scheme involving 964 rhino horns destined for illegal markets in Southeast Asia. Erin has more.
A 7-year investigation by the Hawks Wildlife Tracking Unit resulted in the arrest of 6 people, 5 men and 1 woman, who appeared before the Pretoria Magistrates Court this morning. They face charges of fraud, theft and contravention of the National Environmental Management Biodiversity Act. In a statement, Minister of Forestry, Fisheries and the Environment, Deon George, says the arrest is a decisive victory in South Africa's fight against international wildlife crime. George welcomed the progress of the Hawks in dismantling the international rhino horn syndicate, claiming it is clear that the Hawks are making progress on cracking down on international syndicates responsible for poaching wildlife in the country. Erin, Eyewitness News.
A fine Wednesday in store for Gauteng tomorrow. Lows of between 8 and 9 degrees and highs of between 25 and 27.
Proclamation Hill, that's in the city of Tshwane. Slow-moving traffic on Trans-Orania between Kwaga and the Dashboard Tunnel due to an earlier accident. Also leaving the Pretoria CBD, traffic remains sluggish in the Hermanstad area on Eskiam Pahlele between Vomhagen and the R18. And driving through Alex, you can still expect about a 30-minute delay. That's heading towards Germiston N3 South between the Petrol Interchange and Van Buren.
The top story in Eyewitness News, Arts and Culture Minister Gayton McKenzie says digging up all social media posts to allege that he is a racist is all part of an orchestrated campaign against him.
Johannesburg, the Tribute to Women show is here. Join us on the 24th of August at Marks Park in Emerentia as we honor 31 years of democracy and the incredible contributions of women in South Africa. Featuring an all-star lineup, Keisha White, Ami Faku, Thandiswa Mazwai, Loyiso, and more. Get your tickets now at webtickets.co.za. The Tribute to Women show, proudly presented by Shia Entertainment.
Ready to lead and make our world a better place? Regenesis School of Education proudly launches its revolutionary Bachelor of Education program. They don't just develop teachers, they develop conscious leaders equipped with IQ, STEM, AI and emotional intelligence. Study in the heart of Sandton or online worldwide with a world-class faculty trusted by over 1,000 corporations and 500,000 alumni from 150 countries. Enroll now at regenesis.net/education. Regenesis School of Education, awakening potential.
Do you know what's hiding behind the colorful packaging of unhealthy food? Big food companies target children with unhealthy packaged foods that hide high levels of sugar, salt, and fat, which could lead to heart disease, diabetes, and hypertension. But the truth is hidden from consumers. Front of package warning labels are a proven solution to help consumers make informed decisions. The government must act now. We have the right to know what's in our food. Demand front of package warning labels. Sign the petition on heala.org, HEALA.org, by the 30th of September.
Choose the best. The new Huawei Pura 80 series. The master of photography. A super sensor with precision zoom. Stay sharp from dawn to dusk with a superior 1-inch ultralighting camera and ultralighting macro telephoto lens. The master of color, enhancing every frame with vibrant color and incredible clarity. Tricky lighting? No problem. Take portraits against the light with every face perfectly illuminated. It's more than a phone. It's a professional studio in your pocket. Go beyond with Huawei Pura 80 series.
The 12th edition of the DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star, is here. Experience unbeatable vibes this heritage weekend at the Kyalami Grand Prix Circuit on the 20th and 21st of September. On Saturday, 20th, catch Don Toliver Cuesta, Inkabi Zezwe, and more. Then on Sunday, 21, don't miss the iconic Lauryn Hill on her 25th anniversary tour with special guests Wycliffe Jean, YG Mali, and Zion Mali, with Lyra, Mandisi Janchis, and Zoe Mudeja also performing on the Sunday. Tickets at Ticketmaster. The DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star and proudly supported by 702.
EWN Sport.
With Tolagele Mganga, what's the very latest? Good afternoon, Tolagele.
Afternoon, Tabo. Well, round 3 of the Bedway Premiership gets underway this evening with 5 games scheduled. They include Kaizer Chiefs at home to Richards Bay, while Orbit College are up against Kokune United. And with the Glamour Boys unbeaten in their opening 2 games, assistant coach Khalil Ben Youssef insists they can challenge for the title.
We play every game per game. We know we are a big team. Every big team, when you play competition, you have to win this competition. We don't have pressure. We don't say we will play for all. For sure, we will play for all. But with our players, we keep game per game. Our target, it's clear. We are Kaizer Chiefs. We are not here just to play in the middle of the table or just to enjoy. We are here to win all the title. But we don't try to put pressure. Now we start the league. We won these 2 games. Still 28 games to finish the league.
The Proteas inflicted Australia's heaviest runs defeat at home since 1991. That's in their first ODI. Keshav Maharaj took career best figures of 5 for 33 as South Africa beat the Baggy Greens by 98 runs. Sent into bat first, they posted 296 for 8 thanks to Aiden Markram's top score of 82. And in response, the Baggy Greens were dismissed for just 198 in the 41st over.
He showed the caliber of cricketer he is, and it's nice for him to get some runs under his belt. I know he was gutted not to get a big one and convert, but I'm sure, hopefully in the next 2 games he can convert that 80 into a big 100.
Rassie Erasmus says the Springboks will stick to their guns despite the first test defeat to Australia in the Rugby Championship. He's now made 10 changes to the starting 15 for their second match in Cape Town, with Jesse Kriel leading the side for the second time in a test. Only 5 players retain their places, while Cheslin Colby, Damon Dielenda and Willie Leroux return to the side.
If we throw out all our plans that we had just because we got beaten very well by the Wallabies, then we won't be believing in what we're doing. So we stuck probably 90% to our guns, what we wanted to do. So we would like Yemen and Argia, and Salman is unfortunately injured now. We'd like those 3 guys to push each other and fight for that spot, but also share that jersey. And then the same with Dukes and Andre.
And world number 1 Yannick Sinner and playing partner Katerina Sinakova have been removed from the US Open mixed doubles draw. The withdrawal comes a day after illness forced Sinner to concede defeat to Carlos Alcaraz in the final of the Cincinnati Open. The 24-year-old now insists he'll definitely play at the US Open, which gets underway on Sunday. Tola Mganga, Eyewitness News Sport.
EWN Traffic.
This Eyewitness News Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Mr. Charlie, what's the latest on our roads?
Well, if you're leaving the Pretoria CBD, traffic sluggish in the Hermanstad area. This is on Eskiam Pahlele between Vormhagen and the R80. Driving through Alex, you can still expect about a 30-minute delay. That's heading towards Germiston N3 South, between the Bacloons Change and Van Buren. Edenvale, bumper-to-bumper traffic still heading into Bedford View. R24 westbound between Edenvale Road and the Gilulis Interchange. Earlier on, we were talking about traffic delays. That's leaving Sandton. This is on Grayston Drive between Sandton Drive and Catherine. Understand we have a voice note telling us what caused those delays. Karabo?
Hi. The traffic at Sandton, Grayston Drive, is due to the traffic lights not working there by Grayston Drive and Sandton Drive, and the Outsurance guys are not yet there. So traffic lights are not working there. Thank you.
100%. Thanks for the heads up. We'll make sure that they are there. We'll let them know the outsurance points. People in other areas south of Joburg, Devlin, slow-moving traffic on the Golden Highway between the N1 and Union Avenue. Also in Protea Glen, traffic remains heavily backed up on the R559 main road opposite GOG Gardens. I'll have your next Eyewitness News traffic update just after 6.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. There's a car with a work commuter. She's done this route 1,000 times. Perhaps she's daydreaming of a different job or just counting down to the weekend. The outsurance pointsmen know it's not just another car in traffic. It's anticipation on the move. Every story's different and every story matters. That's why the outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702 Podcast
On primemediaplus.com.
It is 15 minutes to 6 o'clock. Thanks very much for joining us. You're on 702, and we had asked for your voice notes on 072 702 1702. And part of our discussion was around great customer service. What do you do when you are just startled by amazing customer service? Keep those coming through on 072 1702. And you would know 072 702 1702. I should have said, everyone is giving me stares in the studio because I got the numbers wrong. Well, now, as much as John is not here, the tradition stays the same. Right about this time, he'd be just playing music, but we have a special theme every single day. And Jonathan Fairbairn Kabazela is joining me right now regarding that. I hope you're good, Jono.
Very, very good. Thanks, Pratabs.
Okay. It changes every day. It changes every day. Yeah. But, Jono, we were just having a chat earlier on about what we should be giving our listeners today as far as good music is concerned and the theme. And this is something that happens almost every single day. And we don't even notice that music lives in us.
It does, and it can be a good thing or a bad thing, because if you listen to it, you could be whistling a particular song for the rest of the day and irritating your colleagues.
Yeah.
Like you and I were doing a little bit earlier.
I loved it.
I know, me too. I love a good whistle.
Yeah, yeah.
But so we initially were going to say, okay, well, let's pick people's favorite songs.
Yeah.
Where, something gets stuck in your head and then you end up whistling.
Yeah.
That song.
A song that you can whistle.
Yes.
True. Yeah, yeah.
So instead of listening to people whistling, as much as we love our listeners whistling,
and ourselves whistling, of course,
let's listen to songs that have great whistling in the song.
Like which one?
So
give
we
us
got two.
Yeah,
we got two to kick it off.
Maybe give us a bit of a whistle from you,
okay.
And then let's see so that we catch the drift of all of this.
So I must make sure my lips are wet.
Yeah, okay.
Always is it? Lips. No, you can't make me smile because it's hard to listen.
I'm looking away because.
Yeah, don't look at me.
I'm looking away, bruh. I'm looking away. We got it. Thanks, bro. We got it.
So that's the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you didn't know.
Yeah. So we're asking you to send songs to us that have got some whistling in it. Yeah. The criteria is it must contain some whistling.
Some whistling in
the song. Just like this one. Yeah, you'd remember this one from that very classical Western, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Clinton Eastwood is also there. Bro, what a good one. Yeah.
Which is Karabo.
Yeah.
We got the bad,
Definitely.
which
Oh,
is me.
I-
We got the ugly.
You want to be kicked out of the studio? Do you want to be kicked out of the studio? And look at how happy Karabo is.
Very happy. He's got it spot on.
So listen
Yeah.
now. The next
song.
This is one of my favorite songs of all time, and it's got whistling to start.
Okay.
The Scorpions, "Wind of Change." Take a listen to this.
Follow the Moskwa down to Gonky Park, listening to the wind of change. An August summer night, soldiers passing by, listening to the wind of change.
John, what is this called?
That's called "Wind of Change."
Yeah.
It's by a band called the Scorpions.
Okay, so please feel free to send song suggestions to us that contain some bit of whistling that you really love to 072 702 1702, or you could call us and just maybe whistle a tune for us on 011 883 0702. 10 minutes to 6 o'clock.
When you vote in Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko, you don't just support a business, you help rewrite its future.
Gauteng's greatest, powered by Yoko, impacted our business in a very positive way. We've had a lot more feet coming through the restaurant. It's given us a lot more traction in the market, and we've seen a lot more new faces. As Grumpy's Cafe, I would encourage people to go onto Prime Media Plus and vote for their favorite establishment.
How it impacted my business, I think, is mostly through increased awareness of my brand. I think it expanded our reach a bit. And I think the biggest thing that I felt was just a kind of a buzz and an energy in the shop. I love books. We would encourage you to cast your vote at Prime Media Plus.
Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko. Your vote is more than a click. It could be a game changer for your favorite local business. Vote now on primemediaplus.com.
Corporates that care promotes and encourages corporate leaders and all citizens to walk the talk for a better South Africa. Catch Corporates That Care this Wednesday at 10 to 9, featuring Pesto Princess. Founder Kathleen Killinan will be in conversation with Bongani Bingwa. Join us every Wednesday as we highlight the efforts of companies and brands dedicated to building our country. Corporates That Care is a Prime Media Cares initiative with 702 and Prime Media Outdoor. 702. Let's walk the talk and make a difference together.
At the heart of global conversations shaping our future, Africa's voice is more important than ever. As proud lead sponsor of the B20, the Standard Bank Group is honored to showcase the continent's growth, partnerships, and potential on the world stage. Because driving Africa's growth isn't just our ambition, it's our purpose. Tune in every Monday from 3 p.m. for the Standard Bank B20 in brief for key insights and updates around the B20. Standard Bank is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Hi everyone, I'm Dean McPherson, the Minister of Public Works and Infrastructure. Since I was appointed just over a year ago, we've laid a firm foundation in the department, and after tabling our 7.6 billion rand budget for growth, we're now turning plans into action. That means that we're moving government departments into our own state-owned buildings to save you billions of rands in rent. We're unlocking public land to build affordable housing, create shelters for victims of gender-based violence, and to boost food production. We're also tackling corruption head-on without fear or favor. And we're giving young South Africans real opportunities through a reformed EPWP program that focuses on skills and long-term jobs. And this is only the beginning. With your support, we're building a capable and professional department that delivers infrastructure, creates jobs, and puts public assets to work for the public good. The best is yet to come because we're building a better country for you, brick by brick.
702.
Call us on 011 883 0702.
Whistling a tune to a song. What is that song? We'd like to know from you. 7 minutes to 6 o'clock. 011-883-0702. Stephen is calling us from Centurion. Hey, Steve.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm chilled. I'm free. I'm happy. How are you, Steve?
I'm okay, thank you.
Yeah, what's your song?
The song I was thinking of is called, it's by Mike and the Mechanics.
Yeah.
Looking Back Over My Shoulder.
Oh my, what a classic. Does it contain some whistling in it?
Yes, it does.
Oh, really? I never noticed. I'll listen very closely. Thanks for that, Steve. Have a lovely evening, man. Cheers.
Cheers, bye-bye.
Cheers. 011-883-0702. Mike and the Mechanics, Looking Back Over My Shoulder. That's one classic there. I don't know. Does it contain some whistling? Steve says it does. Steve says that it does. Well, let's listen to it.
But it's enough to make a grown man cry. 'Cause I can feel you slipping through my fingers. I don't even know the reason why. Every day it's a losing battle. Just smile and hold my head up high. Could it be we belong together? Baby, won't you give me one more try?
Mike and the Mechanics, Looking Back Over My Shoulder. And if you, in case you're wondering why we're playing the songs that contain some whistling. 072-702-1702. And we've received some of your interesting voice notes. Let's play this one, Karam. We're starting a band.
Be happy. Anonymous?
Why anonymous? But that's your business. 011-883-0702. Zandi, you calling us from Rainbow K?
Hi, how are you?
I'm chilled. How are you, Zandi?
I'm all right, thanks. My one is Don't Worry, Be Happy as well.
Oh my, a popular song. Can you whistle to it like the previous voice note?
Let me try.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Be happy. You do it far better than me. Have a lovely evening, Zandi. Let's go straight to it. Bobby McFerrin, Don't Worry, Be Happy.
Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry. Be happy. In every life we have some trouble. But when you worry, you make it double. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy now. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry, be happy.
Of course, this is a definite classic. That's what we thought of immediately when we came up with this theme of a musical item that contains some whistling. 2 minutes to 6 o'clock. Do you have time to squeeze in just one more, Garabo? Let's hear a voice note.
Jim Reeves, adios amigos.
Adios, compadre. Let us shed no tears. May all your mañanas bring joy through the years. Away from these memories, my life.
Well, clearly there is an entire... Can you whistle to a tune, Steve?
No.
Okay, very...
No.
Oh, well, he tried.
Tongue's in the wrong place.
You
Teeth
and me
too.
the same. Well, thanks very much for indulging us. It is time for the Money Show. Have a lovely evening, 6 o'clock.
And now, The Money Show.
With Stephen Grootes, live on 92.7 and 106 FM. Streaming on the Prime Media Plus app.
And DSTV channel 856.
The Money Show with Stephen Grootes is brought to you by ABSA CIB, backing the Ideas Fund by advancing capital to African infrastructure investment managers. Good evening on your Money Show tonight. While the bankers, the lawyers and the Competition Commission all fight it out at the Constitutional Court, what's really on the line for South Africa and for the Rand? How business rescue might be a phrase you start to hear a little bit more often. Eskom's plans to help you buy only solar power, and what's good and what's bad about your personal financial picture. All of that to come, but first, the very latest Eyewitness News.
Good evening, I'm Maki Molapo. We begin in the Western Cape, where 2 DA MPs have been injured after being attacked in Philippi this afternoon. Parliament's Police Committee Chairperson Ian Cameron and NCOP member Nicholas Gotzel and MP Lisa Shekeling were travelling in Philippi when stones were thrown at their vehicle on the corner of Esidimeni and Govan Mbeki today. They were in the